Chapter 483. Let's go. In the parallel space battlefield, Yi Chen had gained a lot. His spirit body had also been condensed by half. Although his power had not increased directly, it had increased a lot. Sometimes, a powerful defense could turn the tide of a battle. However, he felt that the spirit power inside his body had not been fully consolidated yet, so he had to close up for a while. Yeah. Murong Qingqing also needed to train, but she had gained a lot more than Yi Chen. The Thunder City was huge, and there were people selling houses every day. Of course, there were also people buying houses as well. Yi Chen and Murong Qingqing were one of them, since the restaurants were too noisy and small. It was not a good place to train in. So, buying a house was not too much of a burden for them. Since the luxurious houses in the Thunder City were hard to come by, the two had to split up and buy a slightly smaller house each. Inside the secret room of the house, Yi Chen sat on a clean stone platform with his legs crossed. Outside the true spirit continent is an endless ocean, the zenith sky is a starry sky, and outside the zenith sky is an unknown dark universe. The whole world is way too big, and I am still very weak. I can't even control my own destiny. However, I have to take things one bite at a time, and I have to build my foundation bit by bit. If I don't have a good foundation, it will affect my future achievements. I hope that this plan will work. Once it succeeds, I will reach the life and death realm, and I will be able to stand at the top of the world and walk alone with my sword. His qi and blood were boiling, and Yi Chen's determination was unshakable. Oh! Letting out a heavy breath, Yi Chen entered the empty realm and slowly closed his eyes. 3 days later, Yi Chen woke up. Half spirit body is indeed half spirit body. Although my power did not increase that much, my physical defense has more than doubled. With my Zhen Yuan activated, people below the Sea of Souls realm would have a hard time injuring me. But this does not include Jing Aoshuan and the rest, since they are at the astral reaching realm, and their battling power has already reached the Sea of Souls realm. Standing up, Yi Chen lifted up his hand to look at it. The skin on his forearm and palm was like jade and steel, with a faint red luster. Looking closely, one could see that the patterns on the skin had changed a little, as if it contained some kind of mystery. Boom! He threw out a punch, leaving a fist mark in the air. As the fist mark faded away, Yi Chen mumbled to himself, "My power has increased a little, but that explosive power is not the same as before. Is it because my nature has improved? Never mind, the spirit body has started, and it will slowly improve in the future. Next, it will be time to train the undying body." Ever since he obtained the cultivation method of the undying body, he had never stopped cultivating unless he had something to do. Unfortunately, the progress was extremely slow. Up until now, he had only managed to brand his heart and liver with a mental imprint and had not made any progress in the other parts. Spirit mark could not be left on the whole body. It would not last for a long, and would disappear in a short time. Yi Chen had a thought. Of course, the time was still short, and he didn't expect to succeed in one go. After all, with his current realm, it was still too early for him to cultivate the undying body. Humans have 5 viscera and 6 bowels. I have succeeded in the heart and liver. Time to move on to the next part. As the days passed, Yi Chen*'s achievement in the undying body was getting higher and higher. On the 3rd day of a month, Yi Chen*'s 5 viscera were all branded with the mental mark, and it could last for more than a quarter of an hour. In other words, within a quarter of an hour, Yi Chen*'s 5 viscera would recover instantly if they were injured, unless the injury was too severe and exceeded the healing ability of the flesh healing. Dong, dong, dong. Knocking sounds came from outside the yard. Yi Chen woke up from his cultivation and said, "Only Jing Aoshuan, Li Xiaoyun, and the others know where I live. Is there something wrong?" Pushing open the door, Yi Chen came to the yard. With a wave of his hand, the bolt on the door opened automatically. Li Xiaoyun walked in with a smile. The moment he saw Yi Chen, he was slightly startled. After not seeing him for more than a month, Yi Chen seemed to have changed slightly. He did not know what this change meant, but it was inconceivable. When he came out from the parallel battlefield, Yi Chen had already improved once. That time, it was his Zhen Yuan that had become purer, and his cultivation method had probably increased by one level. Now, he had improved again. Smiling bitterly, Li Xiaoyun said, "Brother Yi, did I disturb you?" Yi Chen said, "I have been in seclusion for more than a month, and I want to relax a bit. I wonder why Brother Li is looking for me?" It like this. In the afternoon, there will be a large-scale auction in Thunder City. I saw that you have never gone out, so you T know about it. Hearing him, Yi Chen nodded. I indeed T know. Thank you for reminding me. In order to learn the gold mentality, it would be best to train a gold element top-rank Earth Realm sword art first. Thunder City was known as the #1 city in the Thunder region, and one of the top 10 cities in the True Spirit continent. There would definitely be top-rank Earth Realm manuals in the auction. As for whether or not there would be a gold element top-rank Earth Realm sword art manual, that would depend on luck. After talking about the business, Li Xiaoyun said emotionally, I was afraid that you would not be able to stabilize the situation in the tea gathering after 2 years. But now, it seems like it was unnecessary. You have improved twice in a month. I am afraid that in the next tea gathering, I will not be your opponent at all. After training the undying body, there would be an undying qi surrounding one's body. Although this qi had disappeared along with the mental imprint, Li Xiaoyun could still sense it. No wonder he thought that he had made some progress. Yi Chen thought that Yi Chen had made some progress. After chatting for a while, Li Xiaoyun said his goodbyes and left. The sun was high up in the sky, and it was noon. It was supposed to be tea time, but because of the auction, the Thunder City suddenly became crowded. Countless people rushed toward the auction house in the East District. Inside the luxurious VIP room, Yi Chen, Jing Aoshuan, and Li Xiaoyun were all there. Chu Zhongtian was not there, and Morong Qingqing was still in closed-door training. The Thunder City is indeed one of the top 10 cities in the True Spirit continent. Sea of Souls realm warriors are everywhere. Even for Li Xiaoyun, it was his first time seeing so many Sea of Souls realm warriors. Jing Aoshuan said, The Thunder City is indeed one of the top 10 cities, but the reason it could attract so many people is because the auction items are rare enough. Top-rank weapons, the remains of life and death realm warriors, jade letters with profound sense martial arts. They have all been auctioned more than once. Jade letters with profound sense martial arts? Yi Chen was a bit surprised. Jing Aoshuan nodded. Some people find profound sense martial arts that are not suitable for them, so they would usually seal it back into the jade letters and sell it in the auction. I see that Brother Yi does not have a profound sense sword art yet. Perhaps you can get it in the auction. Yi Chen forced a smile. With my spirit stone storage, even if there is a profound sense sword art, I am afraid I will not be able to get it. Profound sense martial arts were sky realm martial arts, so mid-rank spirit stones would not be enough to buy them. Only top-rank spirit stones would do. However, Yi Chen had quite a lot of mid-rank spirit stones, but he only had 50,000 top-rank spirit stones, and that was because he had killed a lot of Sea of Souls realm warriors. Jing Aoshuan said, Brother Yi should have a lot of mid-rank spirit stones, right? Yes, I have a lot of mid-rank spirit stones. In the past month, Yi Chen had counted the mid-rank spirit stones in his storage ring. There were more than 7 million of them, and most of them were from killing Sea of Souls realm warriors. Then, you do not need to worry. The auction in the Thunder City allows you to exchange mid-rank spirit stones for top-rank spirit stones. The exchange rate is 1-to-1. Yi Chen said curiously, Mid-rank spirit stones can be exchanged for top-rank spirit stones. Indeed. Although the purity of the spirit stones Yuan Qi is not as pure as top-rank spirit stones, for all the big martial institutions, mid-rank spirit stones are still indispensable. No one needs top-rank spirit stones right from the start, especially the rank 5 martial institutions, where there are countless disciples below the Sea of Souls realm. Having more mid-rank spirit stones would not be a bad thing. Plus, the total amount of Yuan Qi in top-rank spirit stones is 30 times that of mid-rank spirit stones. Even if it is a bit purer, it would be equivalent to 50 to 60 mid-rank spirit stones at most. So, 100 mid-rank spirit stones for one top-rank spirit stone would not be a bad thing for either side. If that is the case, then perhaps I would have the right to compete. Sword artists were always rare, and Sea of Souls realm sword artists were even rarer. Moreover, Sea of Souls realm sword artists, who were richer than Yi Chen, were probably not that many left. As they were talking, the auction officially began. The auctioneer was not a normal person, but a Sea of Souls realm warrior. This was the first time Yi Chen had seen a Sea of Souls realm warrior acting as an auctioneer, and his evaluation of the Thunder City's auction had improved a lot. After a couple of rounds of auctions, the auction reached a small climax. The auction item was a full set of mid-rank defensive artifacts, including armor, helmet, arm guards, leg guards, and boot. It was almost enough to cover the entire body, which was rather unusual and rare. When there are a lot of mid-rank defensive artifacts, most of their defensive power will cancel each other out. But a full set of them would have about 80% of a normal top-rank defensive artifact. And a full set of mid-rank defensive artifacts would be even rarer than top-rank ones. It would be hard to come by. Yi Chen could not help but sigh. A full set of mid-rank defensive artifacts was a couple of times more valuable than a single mid-rank defensive artifact. The starting price was a shocking 200,000 mid-rank spirit stones, which was eventually bought by a Sea of Souls realm warrior for 35 mid-rank spirit stones. Yi Chen shook his head. There was still no top-rank Earth realm sword art manuals up for auction. It seemed like it was going to be over soon. He wondered if there would be a low-rank profound sense sword art later on. The 56th auction item is a jade strip containing a profound sense martial art. The auctioneer with a bit of white hair scanned the crowd with a smile and said slowly, "What? Another profound sense martial art?" Before this, there had already been 2 jade strips containing profound sense martial arts. I wonder what kind it is? Everyone started to discuss as they listened to the auctioneer's next words. Seeing that he had whetted everyone's appetite, the auctioneer said, "The profound sense martial art in this jade strip is a low-rank one. It is a sword art with the metal element. But I would like to remind you that although it is only a low-rank profound sense sword art, it is way too sharp. Warriors with low soul power should be careful, lest they get injured mentally and leave a hidden danger behind." Sharp? No wonder. Sword arts have always been known for their sharpness, and it also contains the metal profound. With the two added together, its sharpness is not hard to imagine. Chapter 484. Cough. The auctioneer cleared his throat, calming the crowd down before yelling, "This profound sword attack is called the Gold Resonant Radiance Sword Attack. The starting price is 25,000 top-rank spirit stones, and each increment must be no less than 1,000 top-rank spirit stones. The bidding begins now. 26,000, 27,000, 30,000, 35,000. In almost a blink of an eye, the price had shot up from 25,000 to 35,000. It should be known that these were upper-grade spirit stones, not mid-grade ones. Upper-grade spirit stones were extremely rare. Among the Sea of Soul realm warriors he had killed, the most he had was only 10,000, and the least was only a few thousand. A lot of Sea of Soul realm warriors did not even have enough upper-grade spirit stones for their own cultivation. Therefore, they could only explore and search for treasures, then sell them in auctions to earn a huge amount of upper-grade spirit stones. Yi Chen did not bid in the end like before. Instead, he raised up his hand and said, 40,000. The auctioneer glanced at Yi Chen's VIP room and said with a smile, 40,000 top-rank soul stones, is there anyone else who wants to bid higher? 42,000. In another VIP room, a sword artist in gray robes raised up his hand to increase the price. Alright. 42,000. Is there anyone else? 45,000. 46,000. Yi Chen's expression did not change at all. 50,000. As Yi Chen's voice was heard, most of the sword artists gave up on bidding. 50,000 top-rank spirit stones was not a small number. In fact, if one did not kill other Sea of Souls realm warriors, it would be impossible to gather 50,000 top-rank spirit stones. Killing a Sea of Souls realm warrior was not a game. If one was not careful, one might be killed instead, unless one was powerful enough and had an overwhelming advantage. Even so, it would still be hard to guarantee that the other person was not hiding their power or hiding their killing ace. Therefore, without 100% confidence, no one would try to kill someone and rob them. 52,000. The sword artist in gray robes was not scared by the price. 55,000. Yi Chen was not in urgent need of top-rank spirit stones right now, so he would not care even if he spent them all. The sword artist frowned. 58,000. 60,000. 60,000. The sword artist squinted his eyes, his expression dark as he stopped talking. 70,000. Just when everyone thought that Yi Chen had won, the price rose by another 10,000. The one who made the bid was not the gray-robed swordsman, but an old and sharp voice. Yi Chen raised his eyebrows. 80,000. 85,000. Yi Chen was about to continue raising the price when a voice rang out, "Little guy, let's call it a day. Give me some face." It would be impossible for Yi Chen to give up on his gold resonant radiance sword attack, since the gold mentality was extremely important to him. The sooner he could train it to its limit, the sooner he would be able to carry out his training plan. Therefore, after hearing the voice, he said lightly, 90,000. This price had obviously exceeded the bottom line of the bidder. He could only snort coldly and give up bidding. 90,000 upper-grade spirit stones going once, 90,000 upper-grade spirit stones going twice, 90,000 upper-grade spirit stones going thrice. Sold. Congratulations to the friend in VIP room 48. The auctioneer hammered his hammer 3 times, carrying a satisfied smile on his face. Soon, a staff member of the auction house brought over the jade letter for the gold resonant radiance sword attack. Yi Chen paid him 5 million mid-grade spirit stones and 40,000 upper-grade spirit stones before taking the jade letter. Following that, the atmosphere in the auction house became more and more intense. Every single item was extremely rare, and there was no way to buy it. It was not until the sun had set that the auction finally reached its climax. Inside the secret room, the light was still on. Yi Chen let out a breath slowly as he held the jade letter in his palm and poured his Zhen Yuan into it. Woo! A picture appeared in his mind. On a boundless plain, a sword artist with an indistinct face took out his longsword. The longsword shone with a bright gold light, which kept on vibrating. Within a blink of an eye, it seemed to have vibrated for thousands of times. Even the space seemed to have resonated with it, creating ripples like water. The sword artist waved the longsword in his hand, and a bottomless ravine appeared on the plain without a sound. All of the mud seemed to have evaporated, disappearing into thin air. High frequency and sharpness. This is like a super electric saw. Yi Chen could not help but feel a chill run down his spine. A normal person could cut through steel with an electric saw, but this gold resonant radiance sword attack was powered by the gold profound, which was way more powerful than an electric saw. Turning his body, the sword artist locked onto Yi Chen and threw out another sword attack. That endless gold light filled up Yi Chen's sight. Yi Chen felt a sharp pain in his eyes, as if his vision had been cut open. Tears started to flow out of his eyes, but he did not feel anything mentally. Gold Resonant Radiance Sword Attack, Low Rank Profound Sword Attack. Focusing on high frequency. As the information was reorganized, the training manual for the Gold Resonant Radiance sword appeared in Yi Chen's mind. Just as he had expected, this sword attack that contained the gold mentality was indeed powerful. Once the sword attack was thrown out, the Zhen Yuan and sword qi would vibrate continuously, which could easily cut through the defense of the same level. Once I train the Gold Resonant Radiance sword attack to a certain level, even if I reach the Sea of Souls realm, I would not have to worry about not having enough ace attacks anymore. In terms of sword attacks, Yi Chen had 3 ace attacks, which were the Sky Thunder Cut, the Reverse Sky Thunder Cut, and the Amaranthan Nature. Although the Sky Thunder Cut was only 20 to 30% of a profound martial art, Yi Chen had learned a lot from Jing Aoshuan. Once he infused the 9th movement of the Sky Cloud Sword Art into the Sky Thunder Cut, it would become a real low-rank profound sword attack. Of course, if he did not learn the Thunder Profound, then the Sky Thunder Cut would not be perfected, since profound sword attacks needed the profound to be used. The Reverse Sky Thunder Cut was the twin brother of the Sky Thunder Cut. The two had completely different personalities. One attacked forward, while the other attacked backward. One had to admit that the latter was a bit more powerful and full of killing intent. With a reverse sword attack, not only could it reflect the attack, it could also catch the opponent off guard. The most horrifying thing was that the Reverse Sky Thunder Cut would become more powerful as the Sky Thunder Cut got stronger. It would always be on top of the Sky Thunder Cut, but it could not be without the Sky Thunder Cut. Without the Sky Thunder Cut, the Reverse Sky Thunder Cut would lose the chance to improve, and would never be able to move forward. As for the Amaranthan Nature, it was even more powerful than the Sky Thunder Cut and the Reverse Sky Thunder Cut combined. The Green Lotus Sword Art was a top-rank Earth Realm sword art, and the power of the last movement had shocked even Yi Chen. It was equivalent to a 50% profound martial art, which was also why he had spent a long time to learn the 9th movement. Right now, the Amaranthan Nature was definitely Yi Chen's ultimate ace attack, and it could not be changed. Besides the 3 top sword movements, Yi Chen's body also had a Lotus Heart Sword Qi, which was extremely fast and had a powerful penetrative power. Judging on its power, it would not be any weaker than the Amaranthan Nature. Of course, it was not as mysterious as the Amaranthan Nature. The Lotus Heart Sword Qi would recover once every half an hour, and it would be able to change the whole situation in a close combat. If he could learn the Gold Resonant Radiance Sword Art as well, he would not need to learn too much. As long as he could learn it to 50%, Yi Chen's overall power would still continue to increase. When facing the enemy, he would have more choices to choose from, and more chances to kill his opponent. It would be very meaningful. Yi Chen's yard was not that big in the Thunder City, but there were a lot of scenic spots inside. There were fake mountains, green water, pavilions, gardens, and even a bamboo forest. The bamboo forest was filled with a gentle breeze, and it looked very green. On the small path in the bamboo forest, Yi Chen stood there quietly with both of his hands holding the destruction sword. In front of him was a long spear that had been stabbed into the ground. The long spear was shining brightly, giving off the vibration of a mid-rank great weapon. Woo! The blue light on the surface of the destruction sword vibrated as Yi Chen threw out a sword attack on the long spear. With a clanging sound, thousands of sparks shot out. If it were not for Yi Chen blocking it with his Zhen Yuan aura, the whole bamboo forest would have been destroyed. Not good. This sword attack has only vibrated 240 times within a second, which is barely 10%. It would not be able to make a dent on the spear. Yi Chen shook his head. After training for almost 3 days, his Gold Resonant Radiance sword art had made some progress, but it was still far from the requirement. His short-term goal would be 30% or even 40%. Yeah, the metal is vibrating. Inadvertently, Yi Chen realized that although the long spear had stopped vibrating, it was still vibrating at a high frequency. Since the vibration was so small, it was hard to notice it with the naked eye. Yi Chen threw out another sword attack. The long spear vibrated quickly, but the vibration was getting smaller and smaller. Eventually, it turned into a vibration, and the air was groaning. The mentality of gold, vibration, particles, combination. Yes, it should be like this, the mentality of letting nature take its course. Before, I was too focused on it, and the improvement was too small. I did not have much comprehension either. The hardest part of training a martial art was to find the right way. If the way was right, then the training would be much easier. But if the way was wrong, then it would be a waste of time and effort. Chin. Finding the right way, Yi Chen's mind was filled with more and more ideas. He continued to wave his destruction sword, attacking the long spear at a high frequency. 5 days, 10 days, half a month, 1 month. Yi Chen had spent a whole month training his gold resonant radiance sword art. His comprehension was like a flood that could not be stopped. Meanwhile, more and more cracks appeared on the long spear, and the broken parts were getting sharper and sharper. Although the metal is a solid, the tiny particles inside are actually moving as well. The vibration can make the metal even more sturdy and more aggressive. However, I have to control it well. Otherwise, the metal will break down, and the power of the gold resonant radiance sword art will not be able to be used. No matter if it is the metal or the gold mentality, it is the same principle. Yi Chen fell into a strange state. He seemed to be able to feel the life of the destruction sword in his hand, as well as its joy. In this kind of state, the training of the gold mentality came naturally. It was much easier than when he was training the thunder mentality or the wood mentality. Perhaps he should have trained the gold mentality earlier, since it was a perfect match for him. The destruction sword in his hand started to vibrate, and the Zhen Yuan that had been poured into it started to vibrate as well. The sword light that was being spat out was extremely horrifying, as if it could cut through space itself. Without opening his eyes, Yi Chen took a step forward and waved out a sword attack. Crack! The mid-rank long spear was cut in half. The cut was as smooth as a mirror, and the edge was sharp enough to cut through steel. However, Yi Chen did not even feel the slightest bit of hindrance when he waved out that sword attack. It was as if he had not cut through a mid-rank long spear, but a piece of wood. Chapter 485. It is indeed the gold resonant radiance sword art. I have only mastered 40% of it, but its power is already at the same level as the amaranthan nature sword art. One sword attack is enough to break a mid-rank great weapon. Yi Chen opened his eyes and sighed. The amaranthan nature sword art was very similar to the gold resonant radiance sword art in a certain way. For example, the power would be stacked layer by layer, making it more powerful. However, the difference was that the frequency of the amaranthan nature sword art would be slower and longer, while the gold resonant radiance sword art would vibrate multiple times within a short period of time before exploding out instantly. There was no advantage or disadvantage between the two, but judging on the attributes, the gold resonant radiance sword art was powered by the gold profound after all. Putting the destruction sword back into its scabbard, Yi Chen picked up the broken mid-rank spear and threw it into his storage ring. Speaking of which, he had already destroyed quite a lot of mid-rank weapons, all of which were damaged by his training. It was not that these mid-rank weapons were useless, but that he had not poured his Zhen Yuan into them. If he had poured his Zhen Yuan into them, he might not have been able to leave a dent on them, not to mention breaking them with one sword strike. I have trained my gold resonant radiance sword art to 40%, and my undying body has also trained all my internal organs. It is time to leave. Unknowingly, Yi Chen had already stayed in the Thunder City for more than 2 months. All of the young warriors who had come for the martial tea gathering had already left in the first month, including the people from the South Rudra region. Li Xiaoyun and Chu Zhongtian had left in the second month, while Murong Qinqing had left a week ago as well. She wanted to go back to her family and go into a closed-door training to train all of the demon power essence in her body. On the contrary, he had stayed until now. Master Rain, he has left? In a restaurant that was closest to the West City Gate, two mysterious people were sitting by the window. The one who was talking was a middle-aged man in colorful robes, who was the 5-poison ghost warrior. Master Rain nodded. As long as I want to, all of the water Yuan Qi within hundreds of miles will be my eyes. He will not be able to escape from my tracking. That's good. The 5-poison ghost general trusted Elder Rain's abilities and knew that he would not lie. However, he revealed his extraordinary power in the martial tea gathering. I'm afraid that with just the two of us, we might not be able to keep him here. You also know that he is not an ordinary astral-reaching expert. The 5-poison ghost warrior chuckled coldly. Of course I know that. I've already made full preparations. This time, he'll absolutely be unable to escape my grasp. Elder Rain raised his teacup and took a sip. 5-poison, I've already wasted a few months on you. It's time you tell me what secrets that kid has. 5-poison ghost warrior laughed. Elder Rain, I can't tell you now, but I can guarantee that I will give you all the benefits. No, you will get the same amount as me. After all, we will have many chances to work together in the future. This is our chance. All right, I hope you won't disappoint me. Elder Rain knew the 5-poison ghost general's personality very well. He knew that he would not do anything until he saw an opportunity. Since he was so obsessed with dealing with Yi Chen, then he must have his own reasons. All he needed to do was to be prepared to accept the benefit. As for whether there would be a trap or not, Elder Rain was not worried at all. After all, he was an elder of the 9 ghost cult. After drinking half of the tea, the two left. The sea of clouds was surging, gathering and dispersing randomly. A huge flying puppet was flying through the air, its speed reaching 5 times the speed of sound. Because of its extreme speed, all of the clouds in its way were shattered, forming a straight path. On the back of the flying puppet sat a young man in blue robes. It was indeed Yi Chen, who had just left the Thunder City. Using the flying puppet, one does not need to rest at all. Their stamina and spirit are always at their peak. I have to say, this is indeed a great invention. The flying puppet's battling power was not bad. If it was filled with top-rank spirit stones, it could even compete with extreme astral-reaching realm warriors. There were also 2 top-rank puppet cannons hidden inside. The power of one cannon was enough to flatten a town. Of course, the consumption of one cannon was huge as well, about 50 pieces of top-rank spirit stones worth of Yuan Qi. Even so, the biggest use of the flying puppet was not for battle, but for traveling. A real top-rank battle puppet would be able to compete with normal Sea of Soul Realm warriors. As for the flying puppet, it was made purely for the enjoyment of traveling. Just think about it, with a flying puppet one could sit on it and fly for months. If it were an astral-reaching realm warrior or a Sea of Soul Realm warrior, who would be able to fly for months? Even if they did not die of exhaustion, they would die of suffocation. 200 li behind Yi Chen, the 5-poison ghost general and Elder Rain were following behind him. 5-poison ghost general had a bad look on his face. Bastard! Where did this brat get a flying puppet? It seems to be at least a top mid-rank flying puppet. Yi Chen had installed a mid-rank spirit stone inside the leopard-shaped flying puppet, which allowed its speed to reach 5 times the speed of sound. Therefore, 5-poison ghost general had misunderstood, thinking that it was a mid-rank flying puppet. The better the things he has, the better our harvest will be. This time, we cannot let him get away. Elder Rain's face was not looking good either. No matter who it was who flew for a whole week in the sky without rest, covering 500,000 li of distance, they would not be in a good mood. Sucking in a deep breath, Five Poison Ghost General turned his head and said, "We have already left the Thunder region and appeared in the Mountain region. I wonder when this brat will go down to rest." Elder Rain was just about to say something when he suddenly raised his eyebrows. He went down. Blue Stone Town was one of the thousands of towns in the mountain region. Because it was close to the Hunter Mountain Range, there were quite a lot of warriors coming and going. Putting away the flying puppet, Yi Chen jumped down. "Guest, please come in. Master Wang, you have not been here for a long time. Please have a seat in the room upstairs. I will serve you right away." At the entrance of the restaurant in the middle of the town, a waiter had a towel on his shoulder as he greeted the customers passionately. This huge restaurant seemed to be very busy. Although the busy waiter was very tired, he was actually very happy. This Blue Stone restaurant was not a normal restaurant, and its business was very good. As a waiter here, his salary would be a couple of times higher than the other restaurants. In just a couple of years, he would be able to accumulate a huge amount of wealth, which would be enough to buy his 5-year-old son a normal martial art manual, which would allow him to become a warrior in the future. Wiping his sweat, the waiter looked around and realized that another group of people were walking over. This group of people was very strange. They were all wearing bamboo hats in the middle of summer, and there was even a black gauze on the edge of the hat, which prevented people from seeing their faces. "Guests, the first floor is full, but there are still a couple of seats on the second floor." The waiter carefully served them. "You do not need to follow us. We will go up by ourselves." One of them said coldly. "Yes. Yes, sir." Hearing that voice, the waiter could not help but shiver. What a terrifying voice! He felt like he was being stared at by the most ferocious beast. His hair stood straight up and his body went numb. The group of people came to the second floor, glanced around the almost full hall, then walked towards the room on the side. "What are you doing? This room is ours, get out." The middle-aged man who was called Master Wang by the waiter was very annoyed. He stared at the uninvited guests in front of him. A man in a bamboo hat walked out and slightly stomped his foot on the ground. This Master Wang was blown away while puking out blood, and was stuck on the wall. "Piss off." The cold voice made everyone in the room tremble. Master Wang was one of the few clasping Yuan realm martial artists in this town, but he was so weak. "Master, please calm down, we will leave now, right now." After helping Lord Wang to his feet, everyone in the private room left. "Let's sit down." The leading man waved his hand, and the chairs were arranged neatly. He then sat down in the main seat. Outside the restaurant, another customer arrived. "Young warrior, please come in, there are seats on the second floor." It was the first time for the waiter to see such an outstanding young man, so he was very friendly. Yi Chen gave the waiter a piece of silver and said, "Lead the way." "All right." The waiter walked in front of Yi Chen with his back bent, leading him to the second floor. After finding a clean table and sitting down, Yi Chen ordered, "Bring me a pot of your best wine and some side dishes." "All right, I will bring it right away." The waiter hurried downstairs. Taking a sip of the tea on the table, Yi Chen looked around and found that there were quite a lot of martial artists in the restaurant, but most of them were at the condensing reality realm. All the clasping Yuan realm martial artists were in the rooms. The innermost room was blocked by soul power. Was it a sea of soul realm martial artist? Shaking his head, Yi Chen didn't care about it. Although Blue Stone Town was relatively remote, it didn't mean that no sea of soul realm martial artists would come here. After flying for so long, he had to come down to rest and eat some good wine. Soon, the wine and dishes were served. Yi Chen buried his head in the food and started to eat. "Although we destroyed the Wang clan this time, we didn't obtain many bloodline crystals. Moreover, we didn't find the two most outstanding descendants of the Wang clan. According to the clan's intelligence, these two have already awakened the six-headed snake bloodline. It will be troublesome to let them mature." The leader of the bamboo hat men said indifferently. The left man said, Sixth Elder, it's only 2 six-headed snake bloodlines. Even if they grow up, they won't be able to shake our family. No, prevention is better than cure. This is the purpose of the family. Therefore, either we don't do it or we do it cleanly. Sixth Elder is right. Sixth Elder is right. The Wong clan used to be a king clan a long time ago. Although our clan has the strength of a king clan, it was only in the last 100 years. The Wong clan has fallen and become a commoner clan. But it's hard to say that they don't have the foundation to make a comeback. Especially since the bloodline crystals obtained by the Wong clan were much less than expected. I suspect that they are on those 2 descendants of the Wong clan. In the vast sea of people, finding a family is easy, but finding 2 people is too difficult. The leading man shook his head. No rush. This time, the mission was rushed, and the family didn't have time to send the Blue Eye Tracker. If nothing unexpected happens, the Blue Eye Tracker will arrive in 3 days. With their help, tracking down the people with the 6-headed snake bloodline will be a piece of cake. The Blue Eye Tracker will also come. Everyone was slightly surprised. And, all of a sudden, the leader of the bamboo hat men frowned. What's wrong? Sixth Elder? The other man asked. Not good, someone wants to attack the restaurant. Boom! A giant toad condensed from the purple mist hit the restaurant. Purple mist escaped from the toad's body, and from far away, there were already people foaming at the mouth and collapsing on the ground. Meanwhile, the restaurant that came into contact with the toad melted like cheese, and the purple mist surged. Chapter 486. Poison Chi Attack. Yi Chen's expression changed as he took out his longsword and threw out a slash at the toad. The toad was split into 2 halves, but it soon merged back together. It then opened its huge mouth and spat out a 10-meter-long purple tongue towards Yi Chen. Seeking death. Looking at the huge number of people in the restaurant, Yi Chen's expression turned gloomy. The sword in his hand was waved out at a speed faster than human eyes could see, filling the air with sword shadows. Shoo! 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 The toad was shredded into a thin mist and dissipated. But in the next moment, the broken restaurant suddenly creaked, and the people who were leaning against the window were dumbfounded. It turned out that at some point, a huge purple mist snake had wrapped around the restaurant, and was about to wrap around its body and kill everyone in the restaurant. This poison chi can even corrode Jin Yuan easily. Who could be so cruel as to kill everyone in the restaurant? Yi Chen did not need to think to know that it was the same person who had ambushed him last time. Unfortunately, he did not have the chance to meet him last time, and he did not expect to find him again this time. Awoo, awoo, awoo. A horrifying wolf howl was heard as a violent chi flow burst out from the innermost private room. The chi flow broke through the walls and spread out in all directions, blowing away the purple mist snake. Another kind of bloodline? Yi Chen looked over and saw that the place where the private room used to be was now empty. What was exposed in front of him was a group of men in hats. They had an extremely creepy aura, and behind their backs, there were countless huge wolf shadows. They were different from normal demonic wolves, with horrifying blue eyes and white fur. They were indeed the legendary blue-eyed white wolves, the kind that had disappeared from the continent for a long time. Lizard body, dragon head shadow, 3-headed snake shadow, blue-eyed white wolf shadow. What kind of bloodline is this? Why are they so strange? Yi Chen furrowed his brows. Most of the information that the warlord had injected into his mind was related to cultivation or things related to cultivation. There wasn't everything else. There was no end to the poisonous gas attacks. Just as the purple mist snakes were scattered, countless purple mist spiders the size of human heads appeared. The purple mist spiders were extremely fast. Their 8 legs moved as fast as lightning, and they could even make people hallucinate. Thus, in a flash, the only people left in the restaurant were Yi Chen and the bamboo hat men. The restaurant was quickly corroded and melted by the poisonous gas. Without the obstruction of the wall, Yi Chen and the man in bamboo hat were exposed. Bastard! An intense killing aura burst out from Yi Chen's body. As far as the eye could see, not only the restaurant, but the entire Bluestone town had been enveloped by the purple poisonous gas. It was like a purple fog was spreading everywhere, spreading out his soul power on the streets, in the residential buildings, in the tea houses, in the shops. There were tens of thousands of corpses. Tens of thousands of corpses were first corroded into white bones, and then turned into ashes. Yi Chen's method was so cruel that it made people's hair stand on end. And the purpose of all this was just to deal with Yi Chen. Just to deal with me. You actually massacred the entire town. Even if you don't want to find me, I will find you. A horrifying sword intent shot up into the sky. The purple fog was torn open. Yi Chen held the sword with both of his hands and waved it out heavily. Crack! The Bluestone town was suddenly split open, and the purple fog area was divided into two. Using his movement art, Yi Chen flew towards the tunnel without any poisonous gas. Only when he got out of the town would he be able to find the real body of the poisoner. However, after he had flown out for dozens of meters, the tunnel was closed up immediately. Countless purple mist centipedes rushed over, one after another, like a tide. Yi Chen looked calm. He turned his body in the air, and tried to break through to the top. Hiss! It was a dead end up there as well. Countless huge purple mist snakes were swimming in the fog. They were so dense that it looked like an inescapable net. This is a formation. Let's get out of here. The leading man in bamboo hat could tell that the poisoner's target was Yi Chen. Therefore, he gave up on the idea of killing Yi Chen. He did not think that Yi Chen would be able to escape from this formation. Of course, if the poisoner did not know what was good for him and wanted to kill them as well, then he should not blame him for ruining his plan. Shoo! Shoo! The man in bamboo hat had the white wolf shadow to protect him, which made his speed extremely fast. The poisoner obviously did not make a stupid decision and opened up a tunnel for them. A person's Zhen Yuan cannot be this rich. This is a formation. Yi Chen was not stupid. He knew that he had been trapped by a formation. There were two ways to break it. One was to break it with brute force, which meant that he would have to rely on his overwhelming power to break the formation. There was no need to think about anything else. The other way was to break it with brute force. Since the formation was brute force, one would naturally be able to find a way to break it. Down there. Yi Chen suddenly thought of something. He twisted his feet and disappeared into the ground like a beam of light. Outside of the town that was covered in purple mist, the ghost warrior sneered. How could I not know about this hole? The 5 Poison Great Formation goes 10,000 meters underground. From now on, this place will become a forbidden place. No one will be able to live in it for 1,000 years. Master Rain looked in another direction and said, "They are coming. This group of people is not simple. They seem to have some powerful bloodline. I will try not to mess with them if I can." The ghost warrior was very scared of the men in bamboo hats. Otherwise, he would not have let them out. He was afraid that they would treat him as an enemy and cause trouble. The men in bamboo hats stopped 100 meters away. The leading man said coldly, "You two are very skilled. You have set up a 5 Poison Great Formation without anyone noticing and poisoned an entire town to death." The ghost warrior chuckled while activating the formation. "That brat and I have a grudge. In order to take care of him, I have no choice but to do so. As for you guys, I hope you will forgive us for our offense." "Huh. You think you can forgive us just because you say so? That is way too easy." One of the men in bamboo hats sneered. Master Rain shook his head and took out a top-rank weapon from his storage ring. He threw it over and said, "This is your compensation." Reaching out to catch the dazzling high-grade artifact, the leader of the bamboo hat men felt his blood boiling. The reason for this was not because of the high-grade artifact, but because something was calling him. It was the green-eyed trackers. Had they come 3 days earlier? "Let's go." Putting away the top-rank weapon, The leading man turned to leave without saying anything. The others had also sensed the calling from afar, so they followed right behind him. Strange, they seem to have something to do? Master Rain looked confused. The ghost warrior laughed. It would be great if they had something to do. Right now, even the sky is helping us. There is no reason for that brat to not fall. Once I get what I want, I will turn him into a poison corpse. It will be very interesting. Whether it will be interesting or not, I do not know. I only know that if you do not try harder, you will not be able to trap him anymore. From Master Rain's direction, he could clearly see the sword chi within the purple mist area, tearing apart the giant snakes, centipedes, and toads that were made of poison chi. The 5 poison great spell requires 625 highly poisonous crystals. I spent 10 years to collect all of them. How could it be broken this easily? Although the ghost warrior was very confident in the 5 poison great spell, he did not slow down at all. He continued to push his Zhen Yuan, causing the purple poisonous chi to form into poisonous creatures to attack Yi Chen. He was using the advantage of numbers to cancel out Yi Chen's attacking advantage. Inside the purple mist, Yi Chen's protective Zhen Yuan was continuously being corroded, and the rate at which his Zhen Yuan was being drained was increasing. He was not a Sea of Soul Realm expert, so his Zhen Yuan was not as rich as his opponent's, nor was it as pure. Regardless of his battle power, his Zhen Yuan defense was indisputable. Facing this purple poisonous chi that was everywhere, the only thing Yi Chen could do was to use his protective Zhen Yuan to defend against it and then think of a way to get out. As for breaking through it with tricks, it would be impossible, since he did not know much about spells. If it were that easy to break through, then it would not be a spell at all. I can't do it underground. The soil has already been corroded by the poisonous chi, and the friction with the protective Zhen Yuan would be even more intense. The sky would not work either, since the poisonous chi is the thickest there. It seems like all of the poisonous chi is rising up into the air and spreading down. I guess I will have to break through from the front. After making up his mind, the blue protective Zhen Yuan around Yi Chen's body shone with a layer of gold light. It turned out that he had activated the top-rank defensive gold armor's buff effect. Then, he put his longsword back into its scabbard and took out a green longsword from his storage ring. It was a top-rank great sword, which he had gotten from killing the green-robed sword artist in the parallel space battlefield. He had never used it before. With a top-rank defensive weapon on his body and a top-rank longsword in his hand, Yi Chen's overall power had increased drastically. Even if he were to face a spirit warrior, he would have 30% chance of escaping unscathed. With a wave of the sword, countless poisonous creatures formed from the purple mist were shattered, revealing a straight sword path. Top-rank defensive weapon, top-rank longsword. This brat is even richer than I thought. The poisonous chi in the purple mist region was like the ghost warrior's eyes and ears. Therefore, all of Yi Chen's movements were under his surveillance. Right then, seeing Yi Chen put on a top-rank weapon, his face darkened. He pushed his Zhen Yuan to its limit and formed a poisonous creature army within the purple mist region, attacking toward Yi Chen. The blue stone town is not that big. The purple mist region is not as scary as the forbidden zone. I will use my protective Zhen Yuan to last for a while, then break through the spell and rush out. A cold light flashed in Yi Chen's eyes as the protective Zhen Yuan around his body became thicker and firmer. He then extended his body and rushed toward the poisonous creature army. Pooh! 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 The poisonous creature army landed on Yi Chen's protective Zhen Yuan, making weird popping sounds. It sounded like an egg hitting a rock, or tea splashing on the ground. Along with it, a sizzling sound of corrosion could be heard continuously. His protective Zhen Yuan was getting thinner and thinner as Yi Chen was surrounded by the poisonous creature army. Gold resonant radiance sword attack. Without any pause, the long sword in Yi Chen's hand vibrated, spitting out a sword light that seemed to be able to cut through the space as he threw out a sword attack. Boom! The purple mist region was pierced through, and a gap was torn open in the poisonous creature army. Bastard! Block it for me! The ghost warrior's face was twisted as he tried to block Yi Chen back. However, Yi Chen had already reached the edge of the purple mist region, and there was no way he could block it. With a shoo sound, Yi Chen appeared outside the purple mist region and saw the ghost warrior and Master Rain. Master Rain's face was slightly surprised. He did not expect Yi Chen to break through the spell so quickly. Little brother, you cannot win against us. As long as you hand over what he wants, I can let you go. How you choose will depend on whether or not you are controlled by anger. Chapter 487. What is it? Yi Chen really wanted to know what this guy wanted. He did not remember ever interacting with this guy before. The ghost warrior gave up on activating the 5-poison great array and said with a cold face, "Hand over the thing you got from under the stone men's camp. Do you know what I am talking about?" Hearing him, Yi Chen squinted his eyes. It seemed like this guy was the same as him, also searching for the secret of the undying body. However, he had never seen him before, so he must be hiding in the dark. This kind of person was the most dangerous. He was like a poisonous snake hiding in the grass, ready to bite you at any second. You would not even know how and why you died. What if I don't want to hand it over? Jin Yuan slowly but powerfully operated inside his body. Yi Chen's spirit was highly concentrated, ready to launch a fatal attack at any second. If you don't hand it over, you will wish you were dead. Even if you manage to escape this time, how many times can you escape? By then, you will not be the only one who will suffer. Your friends, your women, your families will all suffer as well. They will have to bear the consequences that they should not have to bear. I guess they will hate you even before they die. As he spoke, the 5 poison ghost warriors started to laugh. Although they did not have the absolute confidence to keep Yi Chen here, it would be impossible for Yi Chen to do anything to them. Oh yeah? Even if you don't come for me, I will come for you. You are destined to be a ghost under my sword. His body suddenly piercing out, Yi Chen threw out a sword attack. It was not a profound sense martial art, nor was it a powerful killing attack. It was just a normal sword attack. However, with the enhancement of the fast mentality, it was unbelievably fast and accurate. Once the sword was thrown out, the crescent moon-like sword chi had already approached the ghost warrior's body. Master Rain's senses and reflexes were one level higher than the ghost warrior's, so he had been watching out for Yi Chen for a long time. Seeing him throw out his sword without any hesitation, he did not show any other emotions except for being a little surprised at the speed. A metal ring appeared in his hand, which vibrated and brought up a dreamy water wave. It blocked in front of the ghost warrior, clashing with the tip of the sword. Boom! Water splashed everywhere as the ghost warrior was blown away, breaking 3 huge trees in a row. At the same time, Yi Chen changed his sword aura. He was like a swimming fish, avoiding the most powerful shockwave and attacking towards Master Rain, who was trying to stop him. Ding 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 pu. The first 3 sword attacks were all blocked by Master Rain's ring, while the last one brushed past the ring and left a bloody mark on Master Rain's shoulder. Pop! Master Rain's body was like the moon in the water, disappearing into nothingness. When he reappeared, he was already hundreds of meters away, dodging Yi Chen's continuous attacks. Turning his head to look at the wound on his shoulder, Master Rain's face darkened. Even though he had already considered Yi Chen as a powerful opponent, he did not expect that he would be at a disadvantage right from the start. Brat, you're courting death. The 5 Poisons Ghost General, who was sent flying, had a livid expression. He flicked his sleeves and corroded the branches and leaves that were blocking him into ashes. Then, he bounced up from the ground and slammed his palm forward. 5 Poison Godly Palm. The purple Zhen Yuan separated into 5 parts, turning into different shapes in the air. One was a poisonous snake, one was a centipede, one was a spider, one was a scorpion, and the last one was a toad. The 5 Jin Yuan poisonous creatures looked extremely lifelike. They all attacked towards Yi Chen while showing their fangs and claws. Break! Besides the fact that the ghost warrior was a bit more powerful, his battling power was nothing in Yi Chen's eyes. Facing this poisonous palm attack, Yi Chen waved his longsword in the air. The 5 poisonous creatures seemed to have been hit in their weak spots. Their bodies twisted and exploded, while rolling purple chi corroded the ground in front of them and created a huge pit. One ring in the moon. Master Rain's attack had arrived as well. That metal ring vibrated in the air and turned into a huge green halo. It twisted the water Yuan Qi and looked like a deep ocean whirlpool, squeezing Yi Chen in the middle. It then suddenly wrapped around him, trying to lock down Yi Chen's movement. Yi Chen knew that he could not let himself be trapped by the green halo. Even if he could break it, it would still take a lot of time. During that time, even if he had 9 lives, it would not be enough. PSHH. The emerald longsword was waved up, and the green halo was sliced open. 2 rings sun lock. Another metal ring appeared in Master Rain's hand. As he threw it out, the 2 metal rings intertwined with each other, turning into layers of green light rings. It was hard to tell which one was the real one, and which one was the fake one. The rings spread out in the air, and the number of rings increased drastically once again. The bigger rings covered the smaller ones, and the smaller ones were connected to the bigger ones, covering the entire sky, layer upon layer. Troublesome indeed. Yi Chen frowned hard. Master Rain's battling power was extremely horrifying, and he was almost at the level of a spirit warrior. Plus, there was still the 5 poison ghost warrior, whose battling power was not that impressive, but his poison art was extremely vicious. The 2 of them had given him a huge pressure that he had never felt before. Sword step, find the gap. Using his body as a sword, Yi Chen turned into a beam of sword light, flying through the gaps of the countless rings. Whenever he ran into something that he could not dodge, he would throw out a sword attack. What kind of step art is this? Master Rain was shocked as he watched Yi Chen fly out of his attacking range. The ghost warrior did not expect Yi Chen to be able to break through Master Rain's 2-ring sunlock so easily. As far as he knew, once this attack was performed, even those who were slightly more powerful than Master Rain would not be able to fight back. Mountain melting palm. Putting his left hand on his right arm, the ghost warrior's Zhen Yuan increased drastically. A purple swirl appeared in the middle of his palm, looking like a mountain. He threw it towards Yi Chen. Amaranthan nature. Yi Chen was not afraid at all. He performed his amaranthan nature and stabbed out with his sword. Pooh! The purple Zhen Yuan had been pierced through, and a sword hole appeared in the center of the ghost warrior's palm. Just when his palm was about to be pierced through, Master Rain's reinforcement arrived just in time. One of his metal rings had managed to deflect Yi Chen's longsword while the other one was thrown out. Missing his attack, Yi Chen hurried to back out, avoiding the incoming ring. No. One of them has such a powerful poison art, and the other has such a weird movement. If I do not take care of one of them, I will not be able to gain the upper hand. Yi Chen's eyes sparkled as he glanced at Master Rain and the ghost warrior. Master Rain said coldly, "Give me that thing, and I will give you a peaceful life. Otherwise, you will see this kind of scene again in the future. Not only you, but also your friends and family. I think they are not as powerful as you, right?" The killing intent in his eyes was not hidden at all as Yi Chen sneered. "Even if I hand it over, you might not let me go. Only by removing the root of the problem will you be able to solve the problem in the future. Am I right? Since you insist, then do not blame us." Master Rain neither admitted nor denied it, but he agreed with Yi Chen deep down in his heart. Yi Chen's potential was way too horrifying. Once he grew up, even he and the ghost warrior together would not be his opponent. Therefore, for the peace of the future, they could only chase after Yi Chen without giving up. Asking Yi Chen to give up now was only to increase their own power. Brat, this is the path you have chosen. Do not regret it in the future. I, the Ghost Warrior, have plenty of ways to torture people. The Ghost Warrior knew that he would not be Yi Chen's opponent, so he let Master Rain be the main attacker, and he would help from the side. After all, he knew that his most powerful art was his poison art, not his fighting power. The long sword in his hand was pointed at the ground, the sword light shooting out. Yi Chen secretly activated his immortal body and switched to using his soul power to leave a soul mark on his internal organs. The effect of the soul mark was way stronger than the mental mark, and it could last for half an hour. During this time, the internal injuries would be negligible, unless the opponent's attack power was beyond his immortal body's limit. I have said it before, you will be a ghost under my sword. Yi Chen gave up on fighting with Master Rain and attacked the Ghost Warrior directly. Master Rain frowned. The Ghost Warrior could not die. If he died, he would not be able to control Yi Chen anymore. Only by working together would he have a chance. Boom, boom, boom. Throwing out the metal ring, Master Rain started his most aggressive attack on Yi Chen. The second he got close to the Ghost Warrior, Yi Chen suddenly grabbed the other 3 swords with his left hand and swung them back. It was the reverse sky thunder cut. The sound of metal exploding was heard along with thousands of sparks. After blowing away the ring with one sword attack, Yi Chen crossed his 2 swords and performed his dual sword art. Not good. His target is me. Master Rain was shocked at Yi Chen's cunning. He did not have time to take back the ring and threw out a punch. Boom. Yi Chen's attack was weaker than he had expected. Although that punch was the full power of Master Rain, it was still not as powerful as the ring attack. However, Yi Chen was blown away like an arrow leaving the bow. In the next second, he appeared 10 steps away from the Ghost Warrior. Damn it! This brat's target is still 5 poison. Fighting with me was just to cover up his goal and create a fog to make 5 poison lower his guard. Master Rain was shocked at Yi Chen's battling experience. It was not something that could be gained through training. It would require a top talent, since people with weak battling talent would not be able to make such a plan in such a critical moment. Killing 5 poison will leave you with a wounded body. Let's see what you will choose. Master Rain roared in anger as he used both of his hands to control the ring that was not far away and threw it at Yi Chen. He was confident that Yi Chen would not have a good time under his attack. Yi Chen did not care about the ring behind him at all. His emerald longsword started to vibrate at an extreme speed as the edge of the sword light was covered in a layer of gold. Gold resonant radiance attack. With a flash of gold light, the Ghost Warrior was sliced in half. A red line extended from his head to his crotch before blood splashed everywhere. He did not even know that he was already dead. He wanted to attack back at Yi Chen, but no matter how hard he tried, he could not activate his Zhen Yuan and fell heavily onto the ground. Boom! The second he killed the Ghost Warrior, Yi Chen's back was also hit by a ring attack. As for the other one, he had dodged it. Puking out blood from the corner of his mouth, Yi Chen turned around calmly. Master Rain's face was twisted as he said, "Your internal organs should have been broken, right? How much power do you have left? 50%? 30%? After killing the Ghost Warrior, I want you to die with him. This is the wrong choice you made, the wrong choice to put yourself in death." Chapter 488. 5 Poison Ghost Warrior. I did not expect you to be the leader of the 108 Ghost Warriors of the 9 Evil Cult. I did not expect you to have already reached the Sea of Souls realm. Unfortunately, you still died in my hand. Speaking of which, I have already killed 4 Ghost Warriors of the 9 Evil Cult. I wonder what kind of relationship you have with them? The Ghost Warriors who had died in Yi Chen's hands were the Ghost Corpse Man, the Blood Demon, the White Bone Ghost Warrior, and the 5 Poison Ghost Warrior. He guessed that Master Rain might be one of the Ghost Warriors as well, but he had surpassed the 5 Poison Ghost Warrior. In Master Rain's eyes, Yi Chen was already a dead man. Therefore, he said without hesitation, I guess there is no harm in telling you. I am the outer master of the 9 evil cult, Yu Tian. Outer master Yu Tian? Very good. Ghost warriors are not powerful enough for me anymore. Now, it is the master-level warriors of the 9 evil cult. Huh. Arrogant. When you were at your peak, I might have been a bit scared. But now I can kill you with one hand. 2 rings sun locked. Although Yu Tian said that, he did not dare to be careless at all. Although it was rare for someone to fail miserably, it was not impossible. Even a lion would use all of its power to catch a rabbit. He would not make this kind of mistake, at least not before his opponent fell down. The earth-shattering green halos sealed the area, layer upon layer, the big halos encircling the small halos. Blood leaked out of Yi Chen's mouth, but he did not try to dodge. It seemed like he could not dodge at all. The green longsword in his hand kept slicing out, stabbing out, and trying to break through the blocking of the light. It gave people the feeling that he was a small boat on the ocean, and could be destroyed at any second. Seeing that, Yu Tian let out a breath of relief. It seemed like Yi Chen was indeed badly wounded, but he did not know how bad it was. There were a lot of green light rings, and their trajectories were constantly changing. However, Yi Chen's sword arts were fast, brutal, and accurate. No matter how the green light rings changed, they could not get close to him, not to mention locking him down. Let's see how long you can last, Yu Qiansha. Sneering, Yu Tian quickly formed hand seals with both hands. As he formed hand seals, the water yuan qi in the air started to move, and the sky turned gray. Then, rain arrows started to rain down. It was as if thousands of arrows had been shot at the same time, or as if hailstones were falling. Reverse sky thunder cut. Yi Chen held his sword in a reverse grip and slashed downwards. The rings and rain arrows within a radius of 3 feet bounced off like a hollow ball. Puff! After doing all this, Yi Chen opened his mouth and spat out a large mouthful of blood. He looked dispirited. This is the moment. Yu Tian suddenly felt that he shouldn't kill Yi Chen right now. He couldn't kill him before he obtained the secret that the Ghost General 5 Poisons wanted. Otherwise, he wouldn't have wasted a few months following the Ghost General 5 Poisons around. With a thought, Yu Yotian's next attack weakened by 30%. A majestic water dragon, propelled by his true essence, rushed out with an imposing aura that seemed as if it could break through everything. Water Dragon Kill. This attack was Yu Yotian's most powerful single-target profound sense martial art. The first loop Moon Cover and second loop Sunlock were ceiling attacks, the Rain Thousand Kill was a group attack, and the Water Dragon Kill was the real ace attack that he used against powerful enemies. Even if he had only used 70% of his Zhen Yuan, it would still be enough to wound Yi Chen badly. Boom! The moment the Water Dragon rushed out, a forked lightning appeared in the sky, which was extremely shocking. Finally here. A sharp cold light flashed through Yi Chen's eyes, as if someone had waved out a fatal sword attack from within. The emerald long sword vibrated at an unimaginable frequency. Within a second, it had vibrated at least 1,000 times. The blue sword light was covered with a layer of golden light. The golden light continued to flow, shooting out along with Yi Chen's attack. Gold Resonant Radiance Sword Attack. Without any obstruction, the majestic water dragon was directly split in half, shooting out from both sides of Yi Chen and into the distance. What? Impossible! Could it be? An unbelievable look flashed through Yu Yotian's eyes. A thought flashed through his mind, and he could not help but think, could it be that it was all an illusion? Yi Chen wasn't injured at all, and that so-called injury was just an act to make me lower my guard and attack recklessly? But my ring had clearly landed on his back. Even if he was wearing a top-rank defensive item, the power would still have passed through. There was no way he would not be injured at all. What is going on? Yu Yotian's mind was in a mess. He felt like he had run into something incomprehensible. If the ghost warrior were here, he would definitely not make this kind of mistake, because he was sure that Yi Chen had gotten the undying body training method. Therefore, he would definitely be on guard against it during the battle. However, he was too cautious and did not tell Yu Tian the truth, afraid that the latter would get rid of him and take all the benefits for himself. Yu Tian had predicted everything, but he had not expected Yi Chen to have trained the undying body. This mistake would not be changed by his will. The gold resonant radiance sword was like a hot knife cutting through butter. After cutting open the water dragon, its remaining power did not disappear as it landed heavily on Yu Yotian's chest. Chin. A burning spark appeared on Yu Yotian's chest as a wave of power rushed into his body through the mid-rank defensive item. He could no longer hold the hot blood in his mouth as he puked it out. "Brat, you are so cunning." His body flying backward, Yu Tian turned into a beam of light and tried to escape. "You think you can run away?" Yi Chen performed his movement art and chased after him. One was heavily wounded while the other was perfectly fine. The distance between them was getting shorter and shorter, and it was already within Yi Chen's attack range. Shoo! The sword chi shot out as Yi Chen threw out a sword attack. Yu Tian seemed to have grown eyes on the back of his head as his body flashed once, avoiding the incoming sword chi. However, his speed was once again slowed down. "No, if this continues, I will be beaten to death. I will have to use some essence blood and perform the blood escape." With that thought in mind, Yu Yotian's body shook once as his speed increased drastically. The Zhen Yuan that he had shot out contained a bright red color, and his face had turned even paler. The purity of Yi Chen's Zhen Yuan was not as pure as Yu Yotian's after all. Earlier, when the latter was heavily wounded, he could still catch up slowly. But now, the gap would only get bigger and bigger, and he would eventually lose his chance. Boom! The protective Zhen Yuan outside his body shattered, turning into countless light dots floating in the air. The broken pieces then merged together and formed into waves of sharp sword light, making him look like a sword god riding a sword. Go! The sword finger on his right hand suddenly pierced out, and the sword light shot out with Yi Chen. This kind of speed was already infinitely close to the speed of an attack. It was like a beam of light cutting through the sky, fast like a dream. What kind of secret art is this? Yu Yotian's face turned pale as he tried his best to perform the blood escape. A beam of blood light and a wave of sword light chased each other with all their might. Overall, Yi Chen's speed was still a bit faster. Before, the success rate of my sword light flying art was less than 10%. But now, it has reached 100% without any delay. Back in the Blood Demon battlefield, Yi Chen had been chased by 4 extreme astral-reaching realm warriors. When he was heavily wounded, he used the sword light flying art and escape. After that, Yi Chen had been training the sword light flying art hard, hoping that one day he would be able to use it freely. And this goal had been achieved a long time ago. However, he never had the chance to use it, because it had to be used in a situation where he was running for his life or being chased. After all, using the sword light flying art required him to remove his protective Zhen Yuan. The Blue Stone Town was located in the south of the mountain region, less than 30,000 miles away from the border. Unknowingly, the two had left the mountain region and arrived above a mountain range. Their speed was already more than 10 times faster than the speed of sound. "If you kill me, you will be chased by all of the powerful warriors from the 9 Ghost Cult. Your family and your martial school will be destroyed. Do you think it is worth it?" Even if Yu Tian was a Sea of Souls realm warrior and had trained his spirit body, the spirit blood inside his body was not endless. After half an hour, the blood inside his body was about to be used up. If it continued like this, even without Yi Chen chasing after him, he would not be able to live past tomorrow. Yi Chen sneered. The 9 Ghost Cult had been destroyed decades ago. The remaining people are all like rats on the street. Do you think I would be scared? The remaining powerful warriors of our 9-ghost cult are way beyond your imagination. Don't look for your own death and bring danger to your family. Leaving you alive would be the real danger. Damn. Even if I die, I want you to die with me. Yu Tian gave up on running for his life. He was ready to die with Yi Chen while he still had some power left. The second he turned around, a cyan-colored sword light with a hint of gold flashed past. He felt his neck go numb as he saw a headless body far away from him. Who? After killing Yu Tian with one sword attack, Yi Chen let out a breath. He was indeed an outer master of the 9-ghost cult, who was extremely hard to deal with. If it were not for the fact that he had a part of the undying body and pretended to be weak, he might not even be able to wound him badly, let alone kill him. Reaching out his hand, Yu Tian's storage ring landed in his hand. Yi Chen did not even look at it before throwing it into his own storage ring. This should be the approaching Star Mountain, right? After this mountain, it would be the Star Regional Lake. I have not been to the Snake Island for a couple of years, so I wonder what kind of realm Wang's snake has reached. Back then, Yi Chen had a grudge against the floating island, but he was afraid that they would vent their anger on the Wang family. Therefore, he did not try to contact Wang's snake. After such a long time, the floating island should have already gotten over the grudge, so it was time for him to go to the Snake Island. He did not hurry on with his journey. Instead, he found a quiet mountain and sat down to recover his Zhen Yuan. Hundreds of miles away from the Blue Rock town in the mountain region, a group of people in hats gathered together. Most of them were wearing white robes, but only 3 of them were in black. "Did you bring the Wang family's blood?" one of them asked. "Yes." The leading man in white took out a transparent glass bottle from his storage ring, which was filled with a blood-red liquid. Taking over the glass bottle, the man in black opened it and smelled it, then passed it to the other 2 men next to him. After the 3 had smelled it, the one who spoke earlier said, "All right, we have smelled the Wang family's blood. As long as they are not more than 100,000 miles away, they will not be able to escape even if they are at the end of the world. Now, take us to the Snake Island. With the power of those 2 descendants of the Wang family, they might not be able to get more than 100,000 miles away in a couple of days. Follow me." Shoo! 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 The group of men in hats flew out, heading towards the south. Chapter 489. The Star Regional Lake was a continent-level lake. Even if it was not the top 3 in the whole True Spirit continent, it would at least be in the top 5. It had an area of millions of miles, which would be more than enough to put the whole South Rudra region in. And this was only a lake filled with water. As such a huge lake, there were countless small islands on the Star Regional Lake. They were like stars in the sky, and one could be seen after a certain distance. The Wind Island was a small island that was hundreds of thousands of miles away from the Snake Island. There were millions of people living on the island, and it was quite prosperous. Inside a luxurious restaurant, Yi Chen sat by the window drinking tea while listening to the information exchange between the warriors. "Have you heard? The Wang family on the Snake Island near the Black Dragon Empire had been killed? Not even a chicken or a dog was left alive. Even the Snake Island had lost a layer." Killed? Who would be so cruel? That Wang family was a rank 9 family after all. How could they be killed just like that? Plus, I heard that in the past couple of years, 2 young warriors had appeared in the Wang family, and they were both at the astral reaching realm. If a rank 8 martial institution wanted to take care of them, they would have to suffer a lot. You are a bit too short-sighted. For us, the Wang family is a huge beast. But for those powerful warriors, they could be killed just like that. Whatever the warriors in the restaurant were saying next, Yi Chen did not hear it, because he had already left the restaurant. In the sky, Yi Chen rode on his flying puppet, traveling at 10 times the speed of sound. Who did the Wang family offend to be killed? How is Wang's snake? There were a lot of questions in Yi Chen's head. He did not expect to hear the news of the Wang family being killed just when he was about to go to the Snake Island. Although he did not have much feelings for the Wang family, and his relationship with Wang's snake was not that deep either. But the Wang family had given him a 3,000-year-old blood sunflower after all, and Wang's snake had been protected by him before. Without knowing why, Yi Chen thought of those men in hat. There was no reason for him to think of them. Wang's snake, you did not look like a short-lived person before. You should not die this easily, right? If you die, you will have nothing left. Wang's snake's potential was something that Yi Chen knew very well. He could tell a thing or two from Tuabaku, and Wang's snake was even younger than him. Whoosh! The flying puppet shot forward as fast as a flash of light. From afar, Yi Chen saw the Snake Island. The Snake Island that used to be so tall was now shorter. It seemed like the top had been sliced off by a knife. However, judging from the cut marks, it was not a knife, but a claw. It was torn by a claw. A large number of martial artists stood on the uneven surface. You didn't see what happened that day. A group of people dressed in white and wearing bamboo hats surrounded the Wang family and killed every single one of them. Not even the children were spared. In the end, when they were about to leave, the leader of the group waved his hand and the Wang family on the Snake Island was directly wiped out and turned into what you see now. That's too cruel. They didn't even leave a complete corpse. Sigh, this world is a world where the strong are respected. The words of the strong are absolute. If they say they will destroy you, then they will destroy you. There is no room for discussion. A peak late astral reaching expert has arrived. A lot of people had noticed Yi Chen, who had a powerful qi. Yi Chen had heard everyone's conversation, especially the words men in white. If it were not a coincidence, then the men in white that he had met in the Blue Stone Town would be the main culprit who had killed the Wang family. This guess was not without reason. First of all, it was not that there were no people in white, but for a group of them to appear, the chance would be very small. Secondly, the men in white had the blue-eyed white wolf bloodline, while the Wang family had the multi-headed snake bloodline. The two of them were somehow related. Therefore, Yi Chen was pretty sure that it was those men in white who had killed the Wang family. This is indeed tricky. Those men in white are not easy to deal with, especially the leader. His power seems to be no weaker than Yu Yotian's. Yi Chen frowned. He knew how powerful Yu Yotian was. Perhaps he would not be afraid of one man in white, but a group of them would have to be careful. Plus, people with this kind of bloodline would be extremely powerful. Even Yi Chen did not have the confidence to win against that leader. Let's not worry about this for now. Let's look for some clues. Between his eyebrows, Yi Chen let out his soul power quietly. 30 miles. 50 miles. 80 miles. 90 miles. Not until he had let his soul power reach 90 miles deep into the Snake Island did Yi Chen start to feel that his soul power was not able to reach out anymore. There is a slight space vibration, but it is very weak. His expression changed as Yi Chen left the cut surface and came to the middle of the mountain, allowing his soul power to reach even deeper. Realizing that there was nothing wrong yet, he dove right into the bottom of the lake. There is a transporting stone door there? Yi Chen had finally found the source of the vibration. It was actually 360 miles below the cut surface. If it were not for the fact that Yi Chen's soul power was more powerful than most of the Sea of Souls realm warriors, he might not be able to find it. Thinking about it, it was not that the leading man in white did not use his soul power to search. It was just that the range of his soul power was limited, and the stone door was too deep, which was why he did not notice it. Of course, the most important reason was that Yi Chen had trained the void-shattering finger art, which contained the space mentality, which made him extra sensitive to the space vibration coming from the stone door. Without much hesitation, Yi Chen pushed his protective Zhen Yuan and squeezed into the mud at the bottom of the lake, approaching the stone door. Soon, Yi Chen arrived in front of the stone door. The stone door was located in an underground stone room. There was no way to go down from the top. There was only a small hidden path on the side. The entrance of the small path was also at the bottom of the lake, covered with water plants. The path was not smooth all the way and there were a lot of traps. It was also the reason why Yi Chen did not come in through the small path. It was not because he was afraid of the traps, but because he was afraid that the traps would cause too much noise. I wonder where this door leads to? Yi Chen thought about it again and again before stepping in. He believed that the Wang family would not set up a stone door that would trap people in a dangerous place, since there was no need for it at all. After all, how many people would be able to find it? The purpose of this stone door was most likely to transport important people away. Perhaps Wang's snake was still alive? Who? The swirl in the stone door spun once, and Yi Chen disappeared completely inside. Sister May, someone is coming through the stone door. In a dimly lit underground building, a teenager in black stared at the stone door in front of him with a cautious expression. It was indeed Wang's snake, whom Yi Chen had not seen for many years. Behind him, a cold-looking lady in black walked over. It was indeed another martial genius of the Wang family, Wang Mei. Back in the Star Regional Lake, her three-headed snake had attacked the big ship that Yi Chen and Wang's snake were on. Little snake, our Wang family might have been destroyed. The people coming here are most likely enemies. Later, I will hold them off. You run by yourself. Do not look back. There was a hint of sadness in Wang Mei's eyes, but it was soon replaced by determination. Wang's snake shook his head. No, Sister Mei, I want to face it with you. Stupid brat, what is the use of you staying here? It will only be one more corpse. Only by staying alive can you avenge my family. I believe you have the potential. You have reached the peak level early astral reaching realm from the condensing reality realm in just a couple of years. Compared to a couple of years ago, Wang Mei had matured quite a bit. Who? Just as the two were talking, the swirl inside the conveyor door suddenly sped up, and a human figure walked out. Die. A six-headed snake shadow appeared behind Wang Mei and Wang's snake. The 12 snake heads bit towards the incoming person, attacking fiercely. Boom! The incoming person threw out a punch, and the two backed out continuously. It's me. After throwing out a punch to push back the two, Yi Chen said. Wang's snake was overjoyed. Brother Yi. It really is Brother Yi. Sister Mei, he is not an enemy. He is my savior, Brother Yi. A confused look flashed past Wang Mei's face, but she nodded and said calmly, I know. Yi Chen looked around and realized that he was underground. The walls were inlaid with glowing crystals, which made it possible for him to see his own fingers in this dark environment. He was in a stone hall, which looked very ancient and elegant. It seemed to have been here for a long time. Wang's snake, what is this place? This is our Wang family's forbidden place. Brother Yi, is our Wang family still here? Wang's snake asked carefully. In the past few years, he had developed feelings for the Wang family. Except for a few people, the others were very nice to him, especially the family head, Wang Heng. At the side, Wang Mei also looked at Yi Chen. Yi Chen was silent for a while, shook his head, and said in a low voice, The Wang family has been razed to the ground. I only found out about it by chance, and then I found the conveyor door. Grandpa, Uncle Zhou, are they all dead? Wang's snake's eyes were filled with tears. The dead cannot be resurrected. It is already a great fortune for you to be alive. You must cherish this life, and when you are strong enough, you can take revenge. Yi Chen comforted him. I know I will. Wang Shi clenched his fists tightly. Not only was the main family destroyed, before the main family was destroyed, his previous family was also destroyed, not even the fowls and dogs were spared. These days, he felt very painful every moment. Fortunately, Wang Mei was with him, she was his only relative. The conveyor door's light dimmed and gradually disappeared. Yi Chen knew that the conveyor door's original energy had been used up. After all, this conveyor door was very low level compared to the conveyor doors Yi Chen had seen. There was a limit to the number of people, and it was impossible to teleport without limit. How did you escape? Yi Chen asked. Wang's snake explained. After my previous family was destroyed, Grandpa Wang Hing forced me and Sister Mei to enter the conveyor door. It was a one-way conveyor door, and we could not teleport back. There was also a limit to the number of people who could enter. It seemed that there was only one person left. Then can you tell me about the Wang family's secrets and the cause? This was what Yi Chen wanted to know the most. Otherwise, he would not be able to make a plan. Wang's snake looked at Wang Mei, and Wang Mei nodded and said, "Let me tell you. Anyway, the Wang family only exists in name, and there is nothing to hide. There are some things that you are not clear about." Chapter 490. Taking a deep breath, Wang Mei said slowly, "In the ancient era, there were many mixed blood races. Among them, the most powerful ones were the demi-beast families. Our Wang family was one of the demi-beast families. As for the so-called demi-beasts, they were beasts that could transform into human forms. In other words, they were the descendants of the beast kings and humans. They had the bloodline of both beasts and humans. When the beast bloodline was awakened, they could summon the phantom of the demi-beast, which would increase their battling power tremendously, allowing them to easily fight against those with higher realms. When a beast reached the beast king realm, it could have offspring with humans. The fact that the Wang family had the bloodline of both beasts and humans did not surprise Yi Chen at all. In fact, he had already suspected that these people had the bloodline of beasts. As for beasts and humans, it sounded a bit unbelievable, but it was not that big of a deal. After a beast reached the beast king realm, it could have two forms, a beast form and a human form. A beast form and a human form were not that different. As long as they wanted to, they could stay in their human form for the rest of their lives. Of course, there were some beast kings who preferred the beast form and did not want to become humans. Wang Mei shook her head. No, even if a normal beast reached the beast king realm and could transform into a human form, it would not be able to have offspring with humans. Only some extremely rare beasts from the ancient era could do so, such as the ancestor of our Wang family, the nine-headed serpent king. Nine-headed serpent. Yi Chen was a bit surprised. The nine-headed serpent was a notorious beast in the ancient era. When it was born, it already had the power of a rank 7 beast. When it reached adulthood, it would have the power of a rank 10 beast. Once it became a beast king, it would be 10 times more powerful than a normal beast king. Those people who destroyed your Wang family were also from a demi-beast family? Yi Chen asked. Wang Mei nodded. Yes, I heard from my grandpa that they were from the Ao family with the bloodline of the blue-eyed white wolf. In the past, the Ao family was only a noble family among the demi-beast families, while our Wang family was the king family. However, the Wang family had declined a long time ago, becoming a normal family. 100 years ago, the Ao family became the king family. Why did the Ao family want to destroy the Wang family, which was also a demi-beast family? That was because they wanted to obtain the bloodline crystal of our Wang family. Yi Chen remained silent and listened to the other party's next words. Bloodline crystal. A crystal that can increase the density of bloodline and increase the chance of bloodline awakening. Only demonic kings can condense this type of crystal, and it's extremely poisonous. Half-demons with low density of bloodline will die without a doubt if they use it. Only half-demons with relatively high density of bloodline can use it effectively. Me and the little snake have used it once, increasing the density of our bloodline from 5-headed snake to 6-headed snake. Once the bloodline awakens, our cultivation base will skyrocket for a period of time without any side effects. Is this the reason why the Ao family wants to deal with your Wang family? Could it be that the Ao family can also use the bloodline crystal of your Wang family? Wang Mei said, bloodline crystals are formed from demonic energy and the blood essence of a demonic king. I think there should be some similarities between them. Alright, now you can tell me about the strength of the Ao clan. Tell me everything you know. Don't hide anything. The Ao family is very powerful. Wang Mei's voice sank as she said, although I do not know anything about the Ao family, I know about the royal family's power very well. In order to become a royal family, there must be 3 conditions. First, there must be a demonic beast king in the family. Second, there must be at least 4 master-level demonic beast warriors. Third, there must be a demonic beast son in the family. Hearing her, Yi Chun started to think. The Ao family was indeed powerful, ridiculously powerful. It seemed like among the demonic beast families, the royal family would be equivalent to a rank 5 martial institution. No, it might be even more powerful than a normal rank 5 martial institution, because a normal rank 5 martial institution might not even have 4 master-level Sea of Souls realm warriors. What is this demonic beast son? Once the beast bloodline reaches half of the ancestor's bloodline, one would be a demonic beast son. We call it the perfect demonic beast bloodline. The perfect demonic beast bloodline seemed to be similar to Morong's perfect demi-demon bloodline. This condition might be even harder than becoming a master-level demi-beast, since who would be able to control their own beast bloodline and reach half of it? Without a huge opportunity there would be no way at all. What is the level of your bloodline? Yi Chen asked casually. Wang Snake answered, we are still far from it. Only when the bloodline density reaches the 9-headed snake level would it be the perfect demonic beast bloodline. But we have only trained 1 bloodline crystal. Once we train the second one, the chance of increasing our bloodline density will be half of the first one, and the third one will be half of the second. Of course, we would not dare to try the last 2 times either. If the first one could not kill us, then the chance of the second one would be doubled, and the third one would be doubled. It would be the opposite of increasing our bloodline density. After training 3 bloodline crystals, we would not be able to train anymore, because only the pure 9-headed snake bloodline would be able to train more than 3. We are demonic beasts, so we will never be able to have a pure 9-headed snake bloodline. Now that he knew everything, it was time for Yi Chun to say something. The Ao family is very powerful. All I can do is try my best to ensure your safety. If it is beyond my power, then I will have to say sorry. Right now, the Ao family might not be able to chase after you. Let's talk about the future later. Naturally, Yi Chun hoped that the Ao family would not bother to chase after Wang Snake and Wang Mei. Only a rank 5 martial institution would be able to compete with such a powerful being. He would not even be able to fill the gap between their teeth. The good thing was that the king warriors had their own rules, and the demi-beast king of the Ao family would not show up for sure. So, the Ao family's danger level would be reduced by 1 rank, which would be equivalent to a top rank 6 martial institution. Thank you, Brother Yi. Wang Snake was not too sure about Yi Chen's power, since the news from the Thunder City Martialty gathering had not arrived yet. But, judging from Yi Chen's chi, he was undoubtedly at the peak level late astral reaching realm. They are very powerful. I heard from my grandpa that there are demi-beasts who have reached the Sea of Souls realm. Wang Mei hesitated for a while before reminding him. Yi Chen sighed. If only that were the case. Wang Mei opened her mouth, but did not know what to say. It was not that she did not trust Yi Chen, but she did not think that astral-reaching realm warriors would be able to compete with Sea of Souls realm warriors. Plus, Yi Chen had the blue-eyed white wolf bloodline, which would make his battling power even more powerful than Sea of Souls realm warriors at the same level. After staying in the forbidden place for a day, Yi Chen thought about it and said to the 2, "It is not a good idea to stay here all the time. Perhaps they have already left. I will go check out the situation on the Snake Island first. You guys be careful and wait for me to come back." Yi Chen already knew about the exit of the forbidden place, which was under the island. Leaving the forbidden place, Yi Chen arrived in the sky. This place is so close to the Blue Mountain Island. Yi Chen had flown over this island before, but he did not expect that it would be the forbidden place of the Wang family right under the island. As long as he knew where it was, Yi Chen flew in a straight line towards the Snake Island. On the Snake Island, a group of men in hats appeared on the top of the island. "Ao Sing, have you checked this place?" The man in black asked the leading man in white. "Yes, I have. There is nothing out of the ordinary." "Really?" The man in black did not believe him, so he started to search carefully with the other two. "Captain, there is a transporting stone door 360 miles down there." One of the men in black found a clue. The man in black, who was called the captain, glanced at Ao Sing, but did not say anything. Ao Sing looked a bit embarrassed. Fortunately, he had covered his face with the black cloth. The group of people arrived at the stone room where the transporting stone door was, and they could not help but frown. "The energy of this transporting stone door has been used up. It seems like we will have to use the bloodline tracking spell." As he spoke, he took out the bottle of blood from the Wang family people from his storage ring. After opening it, he dropped a drop onto his hand. "Who?" All of a sudden, a blue-eyed white wolf shadow appeared behind him. Its eyes shone with a bright blue light, and a mysterious power poured into the blood drop. Shoo! The blood drop suddenly jumped up and shot onto the stone wall. "It is the West. They are still 100,000 miles away. Let's go." The group of people moved quickly. After leaving the Snake Island, they flew toward the west at an extreme speed. "Ao Ching, this time, the family sent the three of you here. It should not be just a search for the Wang family people, right?" Ao Sing was very clear that the Wang family only needed to send one green eye tracker. There was no need to send three of them at once. The leading man in black, Ao Ching, said, "We have another mission this time, which is to find out more about the Tuoba family's power." Tuoba family, that is a noble family. Is the family planning to attack them? No, we are just trying to find out more. The power of the Tuoba family is hidden very deeply. Not bad. Ao Sing let out a breath. If they wanted to destroy the Tuoba family, they would have to send out all of the Ao family. Unfortunately, the leader of the family was a demi-beast king. Otherwise, he would be able to take care of the whole Tuoba family by himself. After flying for about 10,000 miles, Ao Ching stopped and continued to perform his bloodline tracking spell. The direction was still the west. On the way, a young man in blue passed by them. "Isn't this the sword artist in blue we ran into in the Blue Stone Town?" Ao Sing's eyes flashed as he said to Ao Ching. "What happened?" Ao Ching asked. Ao Sing told Ao Ching what had happened in the Blue Stone Town. "Should we kill him? I feel that there is something wrong with him. His power should be at the Sea of Souls realm. Let's not cause any trouble." Ao Ching shook his head. Yi Chen was able to make it out of the 5-poison great spell alive, so he must be powerful. He did not believe that he was just a normal peak-level astral-reaching realm warrior. Without showing any expression on his face, Yi Chen did not slow down at all as he pulled out the distance between him and the group of men in hats. "It is them. Why are they heading in that direction? Perhaps they have a way to find Wang Snake and Wang Mei? I guess I can only try my luck." After flying for hundreds of miles, Yi Chen suddenly stopped and followed them secretly. Although they were very powerful and would not be able to beat them alone, there would still be a chance to save them. Most importantly, Yi Chen could guarantee that he would not die, and that would be enough. Just as Yi Chen had expected, they were flying in the forbidden place of the Wang family without any deviation, as if they knew that the forbidden place was in that direction. Chapter 491. It is here. Ao Ching and the group arrived above the island, looking down. "Then, I will bring a couple of people down to catch them. You guys stay outside." Ao Sing waved his hand, signaling for the 4 men to follow. Ao Ching nodded his head and said to the remaining 2 bamboo hat men in black and 9 bamboo hat men in white, "The 11 of you, each take a side. If you see anyone coming over, kill them without mercy. Also, move around as much as possible. With our soul power, we can't seal off the entire island. The island had a radius of hundreds of miles. If one were to look at it as a square, each side would be 500 miles long, and the 4 sides would add up to 2,000 miles. Of course, because it was an irregular shape, it might only be 1,600 or 700 miles. With 12 people guarding it, each of their mental power or soul power would have to cover more than 100 miles. Not to mention the fact that the 9 men in white were only peak-level late astral reaching realm warriors who could not use their soul power. Even if they were all Sea of Souls realm warriors, they would not be able to lock down the whole island. Yes. The 11 of them spread out, flying toward the chosen spot. Hundreds of miles deep in the lake, a blue figure kept flashing. Those 3 men in black are all Sea of Souls realm warriors. Their soul power lockdown range is very wide, and they would be able to sense my soul power. It would not be worth the risk. Those men in white are astral reaching realm warriors, and my soul power would not only be able to avoid their mental power detection, but also be able to detect me without them noticing. I will sneak into the forbidden place from where they are. After making up his mind, Yi Chun started to swim forward at a fast speed. The whole process went smoothly, as Yi Chun easily avoided the mental power lockdown of the men in white and arrived at the entrance of the forbidden place. He then performed his body art and started to fly at top speed. The forbidden place was covered with a restrictive power, so soul power would not be able to get in. People outside would not be able to know what was going on inside. Hold on for a bit longer. Yi Chen was worried that Wang's snake and Wang Mei might have already fallen into the hands of the men in white, since it had been a long time since then. It is not easy for you two to reach the astral reaching realm. Hand over the bloodline crystals now, and I will let you go. Ao Seng and the 4 white-clothed bamboo hat men appeared in a fan-shaped formation in the spacious and dark stone hall. 6th Elder, why don't we just kill them and take their storage rings? There's no need to talk about conditions. A white-robed bamboo hat man was puzzled, so he sent a Zhen Yuan transmission. I'm afraid that they've made preparations and hid the bloodline crystals. Are you sure you can find the bloodline crystals if you kill them? Ao Sing was no fool. As the 6th elder of the Ao family, he had not only strength, but also experience. Wang Mei looked gloomy, and all kinds of thoughts flashed through her mind. Did Yi Chen betray us? Otherwise, how could the Ao clan find this place? Wasn't this too much of a coincidence? No, why did Yi Chen betray us? His power was far above mine and Wang Shi's. There was no need for him to leave the forbidden area of the Wang family to inform others. He could deal with us alone. It should be a secret technique of the Ao clan. Thinking that she suspected Yi Chen, Wang Mei felt a little guilty. I won't hand over the bloodline crystal to you. Dream on. Wang Shi's eyes were red, and a huge 6-headed snake shadow appeared behind him. Brat, you want to die. One of the white-robed bamboo hat men yelled. He did not summon the blue-eyed white wolf shadow, but threw out a palm attack. That horrifying palm power attacked toward Wang Shi. Watch out. Wang Mei blocked in front of Wang Shi, blocking that palm attack for him. Boom. It was like a bomb had exploded in the stone room. That aggressive chi flow spread out in all directions, blowing Wang Mei and Wang Shi away. Sister Mei, are you okay? Hundreds of meters away, Wang Shi saw the blood coming out of Wang Mei's mouth. Wang Mei shook her head. I'm fine. After so many years of training, Wang Mei had reached the mid-astral reaching realm from the early clasping Yuan realm. Once she called out the 6-headed snake shadow, she would be able to compete with powerful astral reaching realm warriors. Although the white-robed man was at the late astral reaching realm, he did not call out the blue-eyed white wolf shadow, so his power was not that much more powerful than Wang Mei's. The density of the 6-headed snake bloodline is not bad. Ao Sing looked regretful. If he were a descendant of the Ao family, he would definitely be the focus of training. Wang Mei looked at Ao Seng cautiously, protecting Wang Shi behind her. Shaking his head, Ao Seng took a step forward and said with a creepy voice, "Since you are not willing to hand over the bloodline crystal, then don't blame me for being ruthless. Come here." As he reached out his hand, Wang Mei's body was sucked in without any power to fight back. Shoo! Right then, a sword chi shot out, cutting off the sucking power. Who is it? Ao Seng only saw a blur before a blue figure flashed out and pulled Wang Mei back. Brother Yi. Wang Shi was overjoyed. Locking his eyes on Ao Seng, Yi Chen said lightly, "Don't worry, I will take you out." "It's you." Ao Seng recognized Yi Chen. He regretted not killing him earlier, but at the same time, a mocking smile appeared on his face. "You? Since you are here, don't even think about leaving." His protective Zhen Yuan had been shattered, turning into pieces of sword light. Yi Chen grabbed Wang Shi and Wang Mei, yelling with a low voice, "Go!" Shoo! The sword light shot out and the three disappeared into the tunnel. Ao Seng's expression froze for a second before he yelled, "Where do you think you're going?" With a buzzing sound, a blue-eyed white wolf shadow appeared behind Ao Seng's back. His whole body turned into a sphere of white light, chasing after them. The two of them flew through the tunnel of the Wang family's forbidden area. Soon, Yi Chen was the first to jump out of the exit, diving into the depths of the lake. Ao Seng was furious. He turned his head and yelled, "You four, go inform them." Then, he chased after Yi Chen in a hurry. In the sky above the island, what? They were saved? It was that blue-robed sword artist. Ao Cheng's expression turned ugly. Before, Ao Seng had suggested to kill Yi Chen, but he did not agree. Now that two of the Wang family's descendants had been saved by Yi Chen, it was undoubtedly a slap on his face. "The rest of you stay here. You two, follow me." After using the bloodline tracking art to confirm the direction of Wang Shi and Wang Mei, Ao Cheng and the two black-robed bamboo hat men chased after them. Splash! A water-breaking sound was heard as a sword light shot out. Vaguely, one could see three human figures wrapped within the sword light. Not long after, another human figure shot out. His speed was much slower than the sword light, but he would not be able to get rid of it in a short period of time. "Stay here." Ao Seng threw out a claw attack, his claw shadows flying everywhere. Shoo! The sword light was like a mischievous fish, traveling between the claw shadows without being harmed at all. What kind of secret art is this? An astral-reaching realm warrior can reach 10 times the speed of sound? While Ao Seng was furious, he also felt that it was unbelievable. Normally, an astral-reaching realm warrior who could reach 5 times the speed of sound would already be very powerful. 6 or 7 times the speed of sound would only be for extreme astral-reaching realm warriors with extremely powerful body art. As for those martial geniuses who could challenge Sea of Souls realm warriors, they would not be able to increase their speed to more than 10 times the speed of sound. However, Yi Chen's speed had completely overturned his understanding. "Huh! My Zhen Yuan is much richer than yours. Let's see how long you can last." Ao Seng did not believe that Yi Chen could last. The Sea of Souls realm warrior's Zhen Yuan was like the ocean, which was not something astral-reaching realm warriors could compete with. 1 day and 1 night had passed. Yi Chen had flown a whole 900,000 miles with the two, leaving Ao Seng behind for more than 1,000 miles. However, he did not stop, since it was not a coincidence that these people could find the forbidden place of the Wang family. Perhaps there was something more to it. In fact, Ao Seng was not just 1,000 miles away from Yi Chen, but 2,000 miles. Because of the long chase, he could no longer see Yi Chen, so he had to wait for Ao Cheng to catch up. Only Ao Cheng's bloodline tracking spell could confirm their location. No. Let's switch to the flying puppet first. Yi Chen could not take it anymore, since he was not a Sea of Souls realm warrior. 1 day and 1 night of flying at such a high speed was quite taxing on him. If it were not for his half-spirit body, he would not be able to take it. The flying puppet's top speed was 10 times the speed of sound. Yi Chen wanted to see if Ao Seng and the rest could catch up or not. If they could not, then there would be no problem, and they could just find a place to hide. If they could, then it would be a big problem, since they obviously had a tracking spell. In less than 15 minutes, Yi Chen had found Ao Qing and Ao Seng. His face darkened. Yi Chen said to Wang Snake and Wang Mei, "If I have guessed it right, they should be able to track you two with a secret spell." "Then what should we do?" Wang Snake said anxiously. "No other way. We can only fight with our endurance." Yi Chen could actually go to the South Ridra Martial School, since the leader of the school, Long Bai, would be there. But he should not forget that it was the Ao family, which was a royal family, which was equivalent to a rank 5 martial school. It was impossible for Yi Chen to go to the South Ridra Martial School and the Dragon God's Celestial Palace for support every time something happened, not to mention that it might bring trouble to the Dragon God's Celestial Palace. Putting away the flying puppet, Yi Chen continued to perform his sword light flying spell. While flying, Yi Chen split his attention and started to train his undying body. Normally, it would be impossible to train other secret arts while operating Zhen Yuan. However, operating Zhen Yuan and training the undying body did not conflict at all, since the undying body did not use Zhen Yuan, but soul power, which would form a soul mark and brand it on the body. Another day and night had passed, and the group left the Star Regional Lake and arrived at the Wavy Snow region. Impossible! How could he last that long? Ao Seng and Ao Qing were once again left 1,000 miles away. If it were not for the bloodline tracking spell, they would have lost Yi Chen long ago. Ao Qing said with a low voice, "Only 2 days. I don't believe that he could last more than 5 days. This brat is strange. I hope it is as you said." The sword light sliced through the sky, not slowing down at all. Not long ago, I had successfully branded the soul mark on the 5 viscera. Now I have also done it on the 6 viscera. Next, I will start on the 4 limbs. Once the 4 limbs are done, the first level of the flesh healing will be 80% complete. Perhaps it was because of the urgency of the situation, but Yi Chen's speed of training the undying body had increased by dozens of times. It was like he was sitting on a rocket. Chapter 492. Brother Yi is so powerful. Being carried by Yi Chen with one hand and flying at an extreme speed, Wang Snake's admiration for Yi Chen had reached a new level. It was not an astral-reaching realm warrior chasing after them, but 4 Sea of Souls realm demi-beasts. Even under the pursuit of 4 Sea of Souls realm demi-beasts, Yi Chen was still able to carry them for 2 days. It was beyond Wang Snake's imagination. If Wang Snake was still a young brat before, then right now, he was a new generation of demi-beast martial geniuses. He would not admire anyone he saw, but his admiration for Yi Chen was pure. Wang Mei was also shocked. Before, she did not have much hope for Yi Chen, since the power gap between them was way too huge. No matter how hard they struggled, it would not help at all. Therefore, she decided to face it calmly. But now, she did not think like that anymore. She had a chance to survive, and the only reason for that was because of Yi Chen. Shoo! The sword light was like an aurora in the void. Every time it flickered, it would cover a distance of 10 miles. It was truly 10 miles in an instant. The people chasing after them were divided into 2 groups. One of them was Ao Seng and Ao Qing, who had been left behind by Yi Chen for over 2,000 li, unable to shake him off. One of them was the 2 men in black robes. Although they were also Sea of Souls realm demi-beasts, they were way weaker than Ao Seng and Ao Qing. They were at least 6,000 miles away. Fortunately, the 2 knew the bloodline tracking spell, so they did not lose track of them. Ao Chong, is this guy really at the peak level late astral reaching realm? We have been chasing for 2 days and 2 nights, but we still could not catch up. The man in black robes was shocked. Huh! This guy dares to go against our Ao family. Once we catch him, we will let him experience what it feels like to be dead." The man in black robes named Ao Chung said with hatred. "I do not think it is that simple. Since he dares to go against our Ao family, he might have some kind of support. How could a normal power have such a horrifying martial genius? What are you afraid of? Our Ao family is the king family. Even rank 5 martial institutions would have to respect us. Even if we cannot kill him, we can take him back and torture him. No one would dare to say anything." The weather in the misty snow region was extremely cold. Even though one was high up in the sky, one could still feel the cold air cutting down like ice blade. "Sit up." Taking out the flying puppet, Yi Chen flew up and sat on it. "Big brother Yi, is this a high-grade puppet?" Wang's snake felt much more relaxed. Back then, Yi Chen had protected him all the way to the Wang family on the Snake Island. Now Yi Chen was protecting them again. To him, Yi Chen was like a brother, but also like a senior, giving him a strong sense of security. Yi Chen nodded. "I found it in some ruins." After saying that, he closed his eyes and began to meditate. After flying for 2 days and 2 nights, Yi Chen had swallowed a lot of true essence restoring pills. Now, his true essence had begun to turn turbid, and there were impurities in it. After all, pills were external objects. If he used too many of them, there would always be side effects. If he didn't eliminate these side effects, then he would be in danger. His true essence operated according to the 14th level of the Green Lotus Sword spell. Yi Chen cleaned out the impurities bit by bit, recovering his purity. "I see him. Indeed, his total Jinyuan is still at the astral reaching realm. It is not as rich as us." After 15 minutes, Ao Sung and Ao Ching started to catch up. They had only swallowed 1 pill on the way, so they were not affected at all. "Let's charge over in one go." Ao Ching was afraid that something bad would happen if he dragged it out, so he risked the possibility of his meridians being damaged. Seeing that the two were about to catch up, Wang's snake and Wang Mei started to panic. "Don't worry." Yi Chen's face looked like it had been carved by a knife, without any expression. As he spoke, 2 steel pipes appeared from the back of the flying puppet. One of them had an orange-yellow light spot on its end, which was getting bigger and bigger until it turned into a light ball. Boom! A beam of light shot out, turning into a bright red light wave. "Not good. Dodge." Ao Ching and Ao Seng's speed was too fast as they approached the flying puppet quickly. The flying puppet fired a cannon at them, which meant that the two were moving at an extreme speed, which would increase their reaction speed by 2 times. Not to mention the fact that they could not react in time. Even if they were prepared, they might not be able to avoid that huge light wave completely. Boom! The light wave exploded, and the two's speed decreased drastically. It is only an extreme astral reaching realm attack. Damn it! Its attacking speed is even faster than ours. Ao Sung did not care about the power of the puppet cannon, but its attacking speed annoyed him. The two were 30 miles away from each other, yet it still managed to hit the target. "Let's split up. Let's see what kind of tricks he has up his sleeves," Ao Ching suggested. "Alright. Shoo!" The two flew to the left and right, increasing the distance between them. This way, the light wave explosion would not be able to affect the two at the same time. Yi Chen had been paying attention to the two with his soul power. Seeing that they had split up, he flicked his finger, and the leopard-shaped flying puppet appeared. "I will leave this flying puppet to you two. Attack it as hard as you can." Wang's snake and Wang Mei were very interested in the flying puppet, so they hurried to nod. Boom! Boom! Beams of light shot out, moving at a lightning-fast speed. "Bastard! Let's attack as well." Ao Seng and Ao Ching were in a terrible situation. Their speed was sometimes fast and sometimes slow, and they could not control the rhythm well. Before, they did not attack Yi Chen because if they did, it would affect their speed. But now, they had to fight back with all of their power. Otherwise, they would never be able to catch up with him for the rest of their lives. Ghost Wolf Claw. Ao Seng's right hand and the blue-eyed white wolf's claw reached out at the same time. Countless green claw lights shot out, tearing apart the clouds. Hunting chain. Ao Ching trained the gold element Zhen Yuan. Zhen Yuan circulated in his palm, shooting out two blue-red chains. The chains seemed to be real, making a loud noise and bringing up sparks, trying to entangle Yi Chen and the other two. Back! Yi Chen jumped into the air, grabbing Wang's snake and Wang Mei with each hand. The two flying puppets were also put into his storage ring. Shoo! The sword light sliced through the sky, traveling between the claw shadows and the chains. Seeing this, Ao Seng and Ao Ching almost puked out a mouthful of blood. It was so annoying. They could not catch up with him, and neither could they hit him. I wonder how long these two are going to chase for. In fact, Yi Chen was also very tired. In just half an hour, he had only made 50 to 60% of the impurities, and his Zhen Yuan was not as pure as before. If this continued, his speed would be slower and slower, and eventually, he would be caught up by the two. Glancing at Wang's snake and Wang Mei, Yi Chen let out a breath. If he left these two behind, the chance of him escaping would be 100%. Even if he did not escape, those two would not be able to do anything to him, since his sword steps were not something to be trifled with. Right now, they should really want to live. The thought of leaving the two behind flashed through Yi Chen's mind as he made up his mind to escape with the two, giving them a chance to live. Before they knew it, the three had arrived above a huge ice mountain. There were a lot of palaces on top of the ice mountain, all of which looked very elegant. There were countless human figures flying around, giving off a prosperous scene. Teacher, the attacking movement of the Ice Snow Sword Realm. Sword Realm cut, I still have some questions. Can you explain it to me? On top of the ice mountain, a cold-looking young lady and an extremely beautiful girl were standing there. The beautiful girl was indeed Feng Yanro. The cold-looking young lady said lightly, "There is no use in talking. I will just perform it for you." "Thank you, teacher." Feng Yanro opened her eyes wide, staring at the cold-looking young lady without blinking. Her teacher was none other than the leader of the floating snow martial school, the Snow Sword Master. She was a master-level warrior who was very famous among all the master-level warriors in the whole True Spirit continent. Watch carefully. The Snow Sword Master slightly stomped on the ground. Countless sword lights appeared around her body, which were connected from head to tail, layer upon layer. It looked like an iron ball made of countless swords, which was more than 10 times more powerful than Feng Yanro's Ice Snow Sword Realm. Cut! The ice element Zhen Yuan in her hand condensed into an ice sword, and she threw out a sword attack into the sky. Shoo! All of the sword lights around her body were sucked out, and a cold white light shot out. It was 90,000 meters long, seeming to be able to tear the sky apart. The sea of clouds turned into ice crystals, falling down from the sky. The shocking sky above the sea of clouds could be seen clearly. Feng Yanro let out a breath slowly. Every time she saw her teacher attack, she would be very shocked. The title of Snow Sword Master was not just for show. Teacher, there is someone chasing us up there. That person in front looks so familiar. This Qi. It is Yi Chen. Yi Chen was wrapped in the sword light, and could not be seen with naked eyes. But, the Qi that was leaking out of him made Feng Yanro recognize him immediately. He is indeed Yi Chen, the martial genius from the tea gathering. Snow Sword Master was a bit surprised. In her eyes, Yi Chen's future would be limitless. Having master-level sword intent at the astral-reaching realm was something she had never thought of before. It was also something that had never happened before. In other words, Yi Chen's record in sword intent would be the best in the history, and there might not be anyone who could break it in the future. Teacher, why don't you save him once? Making friends with such a martial genius would be good for our snowy martial school. Feng Yanro looked at Snow Sword Master. Snow Sword Master was about to agree, but her eyes froze all of a sudden. She stared at the man in white and the man in black. Behind them was the blue-eyed white wolf shadow. No. Saving him will bring trouble to our snowy martial school. Snow Sword Master rejected immediately. Why? Feng Yenro did not understand. The two people chasing him are not simple. Even rank 5 martial schools would not want to mess with them. They are from the Ao family, and there are 5 master-level warriors in the Ao family, maybe even more. Do you think our snowy martial school has the right to compete with them? Snow Sword Master really wanted to save Yi Chen. She could imagine how powerful Yi Chen would be in the future. It might even be possible for him to become a Sword King. But right now she could not save him. 5 master-level warriors. Feng Yenro remained silent. Everyone knew about the power of master-level warriors. Although she thought that her master Snow Sword Master was very powerful and did not need to be afraid of any master-level warrior, but if 1 was not enough, then what about 2? What about 5? Let's go back. He will not die that easily. Otherwise, he would not have been able to escape until now. Snow Sword Master shook her head and turned to leave. Chapter 493. That sword just now. So powerful. It's ice profound. Although Snow Sword Master's sword didn't cut open stunning sky, Yi Chen knew that the opponent was intentionally restraining herself, as if she was demonstrating it to someone. Otherwise, with the might of that sword, not to mention stunning sky, it could even tear apart extreme void sky. This is the Misty Snow Palace's territory. The one who waved this sword should be Misty Snow Sword Master, right? Ao Sing said solemnly. Ao Ching nodded. It's Snow Sword Master without a doubt. No wonder people say that she's among the top 5 sword masters. Just this sword alone can heavily injure ordinary master-level characters. As long as she doesn't hinder us, it's fine. Otherwise, the master-level characters of my Ao family are not to be trifled with. The two only sighed at the might of Snow Sword Master, but they didn't have much apprehension. After all, they were only passing by the Misty Snow Palace. South of Misty Snow region was the edge of the continent. If they continued flying, they would arrive at Boundless Ocean. Compared to true Spirit Continent, Boundless Ocean was indeed boundless. Nobody knew if Boundless Ocean had an end or not, or if it was the edge of this world. If true Spirit Continent was known, then Boundless Ocean was unknown. The danger of Boundless Ocean far surpassed the former. One of the dangers of Boundless Ocean was the ocean demonic beast. True Spirit Continent's demonic beasts were limited, but Boundless Ocean's was limitless. If true Spirit Continent could give birth to a demonic king, then Boundless Ocean could give birth to many times more demonic kings. Of course, because Boundless Ocean was too vast, demonic kings couldn't be found normally. Upon arriving at Boundless Ocean, Yi Chen felt that the wind here was very strong, strong enough to blow away clasping yuan martial artists. In some places where the wind was concentrated, the air currents actually formed into wind blade. These wind blades were as fast as lightning, producing sharp air-piercing sounds. Apart from this, in the sky above Boundless Ocean, the water yuan qi was abnormally dense, condensing into water droplets. Some water droplets were the size of rice grains, reflecting a sparkling radiance, while others were the size of small mountains, floating in the sky, slowly moving. Crackle! A lightning bolt suddenly shot out from the water droplets, dazzling to the extreme. Yi Chen did not expect the water droplet to release lightning at him, so he did not have enough time to dodge. He could only lift up his left hand and blow out the lightning. Along the way, Yi Chen was attacked by lightning many times. Fortunately, he was prepared, so it was not difficult for him to avoid them. Soon after, Yi Chen witnessed an astonishing scene. The instant a flying demonic beast was struck by lightning, the water droplet rushed over and wrapped around the corpse of the flying demonic beast, slowly decomposing it and absorbing its nutrients. Could it be that these water droplets have their own consciousness? Yi Chen secretly marveled at the wonders of the endless sea. 50 to 60 li behind him, Ao Qing and Ao Seng were in hot pursuit. 5 days and 5 nights. Is this guy made of iron? For the first time, Ao Seng felt a little discouraged. For a member of the Ao family who had inherited the blue-eyed white wolf's bloodline, this was inconceivable. Wolves were extremely tenacious animals and would not give up easily. Ao Seng, don't give up. Ao Cheng's patience was much higher than Ao Seng's. Of course, he was a green-eye tracker, so he had to be patient. Ao Seng smiled bitterly. The endless sea is filled with dangers. Do we really have to keep chasing? This brat is determined to play with us to the end. Who knows, he might succeed in the next moment. Just wait for the right opportunity. Ao Qing knew that Ao Seng's words were not without reason, but giving up before encountering any obstacles was not his style, nor was it the style of a green-eye tracker. This would have a huge impact on his martial path. Brother Yi, you must be tired. Wang Shi raised his head to look at Yi Chen. Yi Chen shook his head, not tired. In the bewilderment fog forbidden zone, Yi Chen had been searching for a way out for several months. Even in that hopeless situation, he had persevered. How could he not do it this time? Moreover, these 5 days and 5 nights were not for nothing. Besides his 5 viscera and 6 bowels, he had already succeeded in branding the soul mark on his left leg. With just one more step, he would succeed in branding his right leg as well. However, although Yi Chen was not tired, he had to admit that the distance between them was getting shorter. On the first day, Yi Chen could throw the other 2,000 li away. On the second day, it was slightly weaker, at 1,700 or 800 li. On the third day, it was 1,200 or 300 li. On the fourth day, it was only 800 li. On the fifth day, he could at most 300 li. On the sixth day, the distance between them was not even 100 li, only 50 to 60 li. The Zhen Yuan purity in my body is probably not even 30% of what it was before. After cultivating green lotus Zhen Yuan to the 14th layer, it had become incomparably pure. Currently, Yi Chen's Zhen Yuan quantity had not decreased, and the purity of his Zhen Yuan was at most equivalent to the 9th layer of green lotus sword arts. Fortunately, sword light flight art was created based on attack speed, and did not have a high requirement for Zhen Yuan purity. It was impossible to say that people with high Zhen Yuan purity would have a much higher attack speed than those with low Zhen Yuan purity. Otherwise, if Yi Chen encountered a Sea of Soul Realm expert, how could he fight? Of course, the decrease in Zhen Yuan purity would affect the speed, but it would not be that obvious. 50 li, 30 li, 10 li. When the dawn of the boundless ocean arrived, the distance between the two had never been so close. For ordinary people, 10 li might take a while, but for Ao Qing and Ao Seng, 10 li was a blink of an eye. If not for Yi Chen maintaining high speed, they would have caught up to Yi Chen in a blink of an eye. So close. Let me see how you dodge my attack. Ao Qing extended both his hands, and dozens of greenish-red chains shot out like steel tentacles, enveloping Yi Chen in front of him. With a grave expression, Yi Chen flicked his finger backward. Swish! A bullet-like lotus heart sword chi shot out, creating sparks on Ao Cheng's protective Zhen Yuan. In the next moment, his Zhen Yuan was shattered. Sword chi. Blood blossomed from Ao Cheng's shoulder. If it weren't for the protective Zhen Yuan blocking the sword chi's path, it wouldn't have been his shoulder that was injured, but his heart. Once the heart was pierced, it meant death, unless he had some kind of miraculous medicine that could regenerate flesh and bones and heal it immediately. This person is extremely dangerous. Ao Cheng's body froze slightly. With his Zhen Yuan connection broken, he lost control of the greenish-red chains. He finally realized that Yi Chen did not only have speed, but also his battle prowess. He had been a bit careless. Yi Chen frowned. The power of the Lotus Heart sword chi was extremely powerful, but he did not expect it to be deviated by his opponent's protective Zhen Yuan. Judging from this, Ao Cheng's battling power was even more powerful than Yu Yotian's. If Yi Chen were to battle with Yu Yotian again, his chances of winning would be around 60 to 70%. However, his chances of killing the latter might not even be 10%, since the latter would definitely be able to escape. Go down for me. Ao Sung launched his attack. A huge Zhen Yuan hand reached out, and countless water droplets exploded while lightning flashed across the sky. You two hold on tight. Back in the Wang family's forbidden ground, Yi Chen could already tell that Wang Mei and Wang Snake had feelings for each other. Therefore, he let them stay close to each other while he pulled out his emerald longsword with his right hand and slashed at the huge Zhen Yuan hand. Boom! A huge shockwave spread out, shattering the sword light around Yi Chen's body. However, his speed did not decrease at all, and he was pushed back by the shockwave. On the contrary, Ao Seng's speed dropped drastically. Blood leaked out from the corner of his mouth. Yi Chen was injured. The purity of his Zhen Yuan had dropped too much, leaving him with only 60 to 70% of his battle prowess. However, with the undying body, this kind of injury did not affect him much. Hee, let's see how long you can last. Seeing Yi Chen injured, Ao Seng seemed to see hope, and his spirit rose. Boom, 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 boom. The two were separated by dozens of li. After exchanging dozens of moves, although Yi Chen had a lot of blood on the corner of his mouth, his battle prowess did not decrease at all. Impossible! Ao Seng revealed a shocked expression. His advantage before was 80%, but now it was still 80%. Could it be that those injuries did not affect him at all? On the other side, Ao Cheng stealthily approached 3 li away from Yi Chen. Swish! A new lotus heart sword chi had already formed in Yi Chen's body, and he flicked his finger. The lotus heart sword chi was extremely fast. Ao Cheng had no choice but to clash with Yi Chen head-on. In this exchange, both sides were evenly matched. It was not because Yi Chen had recovered to his peak, but because the Lotus Heart Sword Chi was not affected by the purity of Zhen Yuan. Let's beat him together. Yi Chen's stubbornness had thoroughly enraged Ao Cheng, and he yelled at Ao Seng. The two attacked Yi Chen from the left and right. On the left were dozens of green-red chains, while on the right were numerous green claw shadows. Poochie! Carrying 2 people, Yi Chen's mobility was greatly reduced. His ribs were pierced by a green-red chain, and blood splashed everywhere. Bind! Ao Cheng's palm retracted, and the chain that had pierced through Yi Chen coiled around his body. In this situation, Yi Chen's expression was still as calm as an ancient well. His forehead swelled as he pushed his soul power to the limit, quickly finding the weak point of the green-red chain and cutting it off with a single sword strike. Having lost its source, the green-red chain that had coiled around Yi Chen scattered. Swish! At the same time that Yi Chen cut off the chain, his chest was also hit by 2 claw shadows. His skin was torn open, and even his bones were almost broken. Without caring about the wound on his chest, Yi Chen waved the emerald longsword in his hand to its limit, blocking the dozens of green-red chains that were coming at him. One chain after another broke off, flying in the air. However, the more chains that were broken, the more came at him. The wound on his chest and ribs had already recovered, but Yi Chen's expression finally turned ugly. It turned out that the 2 black-robed bamboo hat men had caught up. Fighting with numbers, aren't you ashamed? A cudgel shadow flew out, smashing all the greenish-red chains and sending Ao Seng, who was on the other side, flying dozens of miles away. Who? Ao Cheng looked over. The sea of clouds below broke apart, and a black-haired human-shaped ape rushed up. He held a dark blue iron stick in his hand, and his bulging muscles seemed to be filled with explosive power. Sharp fangs protruded from his upper lip, and his pupils were abnormally fierce. Chapter 494. Ape Demonic Beast. It can talk? It was Yi Chen's first time seeing a demonic beast that could talk. Although demonic beasts could also talk after cultivating to the demonic king level, This black-furred human-shaped ape was clearly not a demonic king, but a 9th or 10th grade demonic beast. Its ability to talk might be due to its human-like appearance. It was also Wang's snake and Wang Mei's first time seeing a demonic beast that could talk, so they curiously stared at the human-shaped ape. "Who do you think you are? How dare you meddle in our Ao family's business?" Ao Sing flew over from dozens of li away, looking extremely miserable. The staff shadow had come too suddenly, and he couldn't even dodge it. What shocked him even more was that his protective Zhen Yuan couldn't even withstand a single strike from the staff shadow, and he was directly sent flying dozens of li away, suffering a serious internal injury. The human-shaped ape pointed at Ao Sing and said arrogantly, "First, I am not a thing. My name is Sun Xiaojin. Second, I don't care if you are from the Ao family or whatever. In front of me, Sun Xiaojin, you are not worth mentioning. If I want to fight, I will fight. You'd better ask around about the background of my Ao family," Ao Qing said with a gloomy face. Sun Xiaojin glanced at Ao Qing. "What? Is your Ao family very powerful?" The two black-clothed bamboo hat experts who had just arrived were infuriated. "My Ao family is the royal family among the demonic beast families. We have a demonic beast king and over 5 master-level elders. If you leave now, you'll still have a chance to turn back. Otherwise, you'll have to bear the consequences." "So, you're a demonic beast. No wonder you're so arrogant. However, your grandpa is a genuine demonic beast. Eat my staff." Sun Xiaojin's words were strange, and his expression was insolent. He raised his dark cyan staff high and smashed it toward Ao Qing and the other 3. Boom, boom, boom. As the staff descended, countless staff shadows burst forth, seeming like a heavenly river descending with a majestic aura. Bastard! Ao Qing didn't expect Sun Xiaojin to attack without any hesitation. He didn't put the Ao family in his eyes at all. He roared angrily and activated his Zhen Yuan with all his strength. Immediately, numerous cyan-red chains interweaved together, forming a huge chain net that tightly protected his body. Ao Sing had suffered at Sun Xiaojin's hands before, so he hurriedly circulated his power and threw out a huge demonic wolf claw. The demonic wolf claw flickered with a pale green light as it clashed with the stick shadow. The other 2 bamboo hat men worked together to defend, waiting for an opportunity to counterattack. "Little ones, it's not over yet. Fly." The muscles on Sun Xiaojin's arms rapidly expanded, and the iron stick in his hands became as light as a feather. He instantly changed from a vertical chop to a horizontal sweep. Bang! The 4 Sea of Spirit Realm half-beasts were sent flying, and the 2 black-robed men who had just joined in vomited blood. Such powerful strength! Ao Cheng's pupils shrank. This human-shaped ape that could speak was so strong that it made one's hair stand on end. It didn't seem as simple as an ordinary demonic beast. "Beast, don't be too arrogant." Ao Sing was, after all, the 6th elder of the Ao clan. His strength was not to be underestimated. With a slight shake of his body, the cyan-eyed white wolf behind him roared towards the sky. A terrifying pressure spreading out for dozens of li. His hands quickly formed a series of hand seals. As the hand seals were completed, a cyan light ball gradually formed in the cyan-eyed white wolf's mouth. The inside of the ball was black. "Go!" With a swoosh, the light ball turned into a beam of light and shot toward Sun Xiaojin. Insignificant skill. Sun Xiaojin grinned as his iron stick struck the front of the light beam. Like a thunderclap, the light beam was immediately shattered. Sun Xiaojin couldn't help but take a dozen steps back, his tall and sturdy body looking majestic. At the same time as Ao Sing attacked, the 2 black-robed bamboo hat men also launched a fierce attack. Boundless Zhen Yuan drowned Sun Xiaojin. Bind! Ao Qing was the last to attack. As soon as he did so, an earth-shattering cyan-red chain shot out, binding Sun Xiaojin, who had just broken free like a rice dumpling. Seeing this, Ao Seng and the two black-robed bamboo hat men let out a sigh of relief. In terms of battle power, this human-shaped ape was almost equivalent to a Taoist-level expert. His monstrous strength was indeed impressive. However, after being bound by hundreds of cyan-red chains, he wouldn't be able to break free no matter how powerful he was. A mocking expression appeared on Sun Xiaojin's face. "You want to trap me with just this? Big, big, big." Every time he uttered the word big, Sun Xiaojin's body would expand by 10 times. After uttering the word 3 times, he had already become a 3,000-meter-tall, horrifying giant ape. Even the shortest black hair on his body was hundreds of meters long and as thick as a bowl, shining with a metallic black luster. His pair of red eyes were like 2 red stars in the sky, shooting out beams of light that were thousands of meters long. As for the chains that bound Sun Xiaojin, they had already been broken into pieces. "I forgot to tell you guys, this is my true battle form." With a thunderous voice, Sun Xiaojin looked down at the four. "So big." Wang's snake was dumbfounded. Sun Xiaojin, who was standing in the sky, was simply too big. The clouds were curling around his body, looking like countless white ribbons. The air coming out of his nostrils was like a whirlwind, causing the whole area to be filled with violent gales and wind blades. Yi Chen was also quite surprised. This ape was indeed abnormal. Not only could it speak human language, it could also change its size, increasing its battle power by several fold. Boom! Without using any treasures, Sun Xiaojin formed a fist with his right hand and punched out with his hill-sized fist, bringing up astral winds and even creating wind, fire, thunder, and water. Not good. Retreat. The four's faces turned pale as they backed off madly. However, even though they backed off fast, Sun Xiaojin's fist speed was even faster. In less than 1/10 of the blink of an eye, the four's bodies were instantly hit. Pooh! Ao Qing and Ao Sing puked out a huge mouthful of blood, looking extremely weak. The other two black-robed men were even worse. They directly fainted, and no one knew if they were still alive or dead. Retreat! Without another word, Ao Qing grabbed one of the black-robed men and ran out. Ao Sing followed closely behind, also grabbing a black-robed man. "Next time you see your grandpa Sun Xiaojin, remember to hide far away." Sun Xiaojin seemed to be reckless, but he knew better than anyone else that wounding the four was fine, but killing the four was not a good idea. The blue-eyed white wolf shadow behind the four was not some ordinary thing. It was a powerful demonic beast king from the ancient era. How could its descendants be ordinary? He had not reached the level where he could kill anyone he wanted to. "Many thanks for Brother Sun's help. I am Yi Chen." Right then, Yi Chen flew over with the other two and cupped his fist. His body suddenly shrunk to 3 meters tall as he chuckled. "I just don't like them, especially the aura on their bodies." Yi Chen froze for a second, but soon realized what was going on. Demonic beasts always had a bad temper. When two equally powerful demonic beasts ran into each other, a huge battle might break out. Obviously, the blue-eyed white wolf bloodline inside the Ao family people made Sun Xiaojin very uncomfortable, which was why he decided to suppress them. Of course, no matter what their intentions were, it was a fact that they had helped him beat back the Ao family's people. "Your two friends seem to be half-beasts as well." Sun Xiaojin frowned as a vicious light flashed through his eyes. Yi Chen was shocked, not knowing what Sun Xiaojin meant. "Don't worry, as long as they don't provoke me, Sun Xiaojin, it will be fine. Also, it would be best if they don't release their bloodline power in front of me." Hearing these words, Yi Chen let out a sigh. This Sun Xiaojin's temperament was truly eccentric, making people scratch their heads in confusion. "You three should have come from True Spirit Continent, right?" Sun Xiaojin asked. "Right." Yi Chen faintly nodded. "Then you'd better be careful. This boundless ocean is extremely dangerous. Even I don't dare to wander around. I can only wander around familiar places. Why don't you come with me to the Water Ape Cave?" My water ape clan is very hospitable, and it's been a long time since we had a guest. Water ape cave, is it under the sea? Wang Shi asked curiously. Just follow me. Sun Xiaojin's temperament dictated that he didn't care whether the others agreed or not. He directly flew toward the sea under the cloud. Let's go, Yi Chen said to the two after a slight hesitation. Previously, it was night time, so Yi Chen didn't have much of an observation of the boundless ocean. But now that the sun had risen, the three could immediately feel the depth and vastness of the ocean. Black waves rose and fell, easily reaching 1,000 meters in height. Sailing on this ocean, even a 10,000-meter-long ship would be overturned and torn apart. As far as the eye could see, the boundless ocean gave off a berserk oppressive feeling. With a water-breaking sound, the 3 humans and 1 beast dove into the seabed. After diving for around 50,000 meters, an underwater mountain range appeared in front of them. This mountain range was thousands of meters high and stretched out for an unknown distance. On the cliff, there was a giant cave entrance. The cave entrance was sealed by a barrier of light. Above the cave entrance were 4 large golden words, Water Ape Cave Mansion. This is the cave of my Water Ape clan. Sun Xiaojin introduced the place to the 3 while greeting the high-level demonic beasts wandering near the huge mountain. He then dove into the light membrane. Yi Chen and the other 2 also followed him in. After passing through the light membrane, the water flow suddenly disappeared, and was replaced by a wide and grand inner space. There were mountains, rivers, forests, buildings, and a large number of gray apes. These gray apes looked quite similar to Sun Xiaojin, and were obviously from the same demonic beast race. However, the evil qi on their bodies was a lot weaker than Sun Xiaojin's, even if some of them were not weaker than Sun Xiaojin's. They are all members of the Water Ape clan, but their bloodline is not as high as mine. They are merely ordinary water apes. As he spoke up to hear, Sun Xiaojin seemed extremely proud, not concealing his complacency in the slightest. Yi Chen rubbed his chin. In his opinion, these gray apes were not ordinary demonic beasts. They were several grades higher than the demonic beasts commonly seen on the continent, and their bloodline was extremely ancient. Xiaojin, you sneaked out to play again. Who are they? A human and 2 half-beasts? A few gray apes surrounded them, and the old ape in the lead said in bewilderment. Sun Xiaojin said, Second Grandpa's son, they are my guests. Don't make things difficult for them. Xiaojin, is it not enough for you to have us as your friends? Why do you have to make friends with humans? Sun Xiaojin raised his head. Who I want to make friends with is none of your business. Yi Chen chuckled inwardly. It seemed like this Sun Xiaojin was the little tyrant of the Water Ape clan. Chapter 495. After getting rid of the young gray ape, Sun Xiaojin brought Yi Chen and the other 2 to a stone hall. The hall was extremely vast, dozens of meters tall and 1,000 meters long. There were many stone tables and chairs in the hall, as well as countless colorful fruits. These are the specialties of our Water Ape Mansion. Some of them can replenish physical strength and blood qi. You guys eat as much as you want. Sun Xiaojin grabbed a head-sized green fruit and fiercely took a bite. Yi Chen thought for a moment, then said, Brother Sun, isn't it a bit inappropriate for you to bring us to Water Ape Mansion so casually? Don't worry, you can focus on healing here. No one will disturb you. If you were outside, I can guarantee that you wouldn't live for more than 3 days. Many thanks. Yi Chen cupped his fist. The most important reason why he followed Sun Xiaojin to Water Ape Mansion was because his battle strength had been greatly reduced. Not to mention protecting Wang's snake and Wang Mei, he couldn't even protect himself. Moreover, in this boundless ocean, finding a place to cultivate was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Who knew, an ocean beast might tear you apart. Therefore, being a guest in Water Ape Mansion was the best choice. Wang's snake was a pure and honest person. Seeing Sun Xiaojin's loyalty, he couldn't help but ask, Brother Sun, that Ao family is the king of demi-beast clans. Aren't you afraid of their revenge? Sun Xiaojin's mouth twitched. There's no need to worry about this. Their Ao family is the overlord of true spirit continent. In the boundless ocean, even a dragon would have to coil up, and even a tiger would have to lie down. Although my water ape clan is weak, we're a member of the Southern Shallow Ocean Alliance, which has a total of 6 leaders, all of whom are demonic kings. Would their Ao family's demonic king dare to come? South Shallow Ocean Alliance. This was the first time Yi Chen had heard of it. Sun Xiaojin explained, the 30 million miles of ocean surrounding True Spirit Continent are all shallow oceans, which are divided into the Eastern Shallow Ocean, Southern Shallow Ocean, Western Shallow Ocean, and Northern Shallow Ocean. The Eastern Shallow Ocean has 5 major powers, and the most powerful one is the Dragon God's Celestial Palace. The Southern Shallow Ocean has formed a Southern Shallow Ocean Alliance. The Western Shallow Ocean and Northern Shallow Ocean are too chaotic, and the powers are too complicated. Isn't Dragon God's Celestial Palace a continent power? Why are you in the Eastern Shallow Sea? Yi Chen raised his brows and asked. The members of Dragon God's Celestial Palace are very complicated. There are all kinds of races inside. There are humans, half-beasts, demonic beasts, and demi-giants. The one on True Spirit Continent is only a branch of Dragon God's Celestial Palace, and all of them are humans. Of course, this is what my grandfather told me. I see. Yi Chen was enlightened. Speaking of which, Dragon God's Celestial Palace is also on the verge of collapse. Previously, Old Dragon King was strong and could suppress the situation. However, his days are numbered. Once he dies, the whole palace will be doomed, and the other 4 forces will definitely rush in. That's right. How many years do you have left, Dragon King? It's hard to say. Some people say that he only has a few years left, and some say that he can live for more than 10 years. Do you know how old the Old Dragon King was? He lived for 1,010 years. I really don't know how he broke through the limit of human life and death. It's so strange. Perhaps he took some miraculous medicine to increase his lifespan. Sun Xiaojin shook his head. No, 1,000 years is the limit of human kings. They are not like you human Sea of Soul Realm experts, who can use some methods to prolong their lifespan. Yi Chen was speechless. It seemed like Dragon God's Celestial Palace was not in a good situation. Fortunately, they didn't bring the disaster to South Rudra sect. Otherwise, they would have one more enemy. What's the point of talking about this? It's too far away from us. Wait until I become a Beast King, then I'll have the qualifications to stir things up. For now, just stay in the Southern Shallow Ocean. Sun Xiaojin's fighting spirit was restrained in his eyes. After eating dozens of big fruits in a row, Sun Xiaojin stood up and said, Let's go, I will find a room for you to rest in. After you have rested, you can walk around. If you run into any trouble, just say my name. Sorry for the trouble. Yi Chen ate 2 fruits and felt much better. He couldn't help but praise the abundant specialties of Water Ape Cave. Even the fruits were spirit medicines. The room Sun Xiaojin spoke of was actually a stone chamber. However, it was very spacious and grand, not the least bit inferior to human buildings. Inside the stone chamber, Yi Chen sized up his surroundings, but his thoughts seemed to have drifted off somewhere. Even if Dragon King is powerful, he can't escape death. Before the rules of heaven and earth, everyone is equal. True Spirit Continent is vast, and the boundless ocean is countless times larger than True Spirit Continent. Just as Sun Xiaojin said, only by becoming a king can one have the qualifications to participate. Otherwise, one's life would be in danger. That's right, Dragon King, you can't escape death. Everyone is equal before the rules of heaven and earth. True Spirit Continent is vast, and the boundless ocean is countless times larger. Just as Sun Xiaojin said, only kings have the qualifications to participate. Become a king. Yi Chen fiercely let out a breath. He had never had such an intense desire to become powerful. In the past, He only wanted to become powerful and improve step by step. But now, he desired to reach a higher level and participate in those magnificent battles. Right now, he was in the chess game, and one day, he would become the player. A week passed by quickly. After a week of bitter training, he had completely purified the impurities in his Zhen Yuan, restoring it to its peak state. Not only that, but his undying body had also made a new breakthrough. He had successfully branded the soul imprint on his right leg. Right now, besides his arms and head, the first layer of the undying body, flesh recovery, was almost 80% complete. It was a godly improvement. Yi Chen, are you there? Sun Xiaojin's voice came from outside. Yi Chen tidied up his clothes and walked out. Brother Sun, what's the matter? My grandfather wants to see you. Your grandfather is the leader of Water Ape Clan. Yes, follow me. All right. Passing through a huge stone corridor and the lobby, Yi Chen followed Sun Xiaojin to the back of the lobby. Behind the lobby was a huge lake with a few thousand meters long arch bridge. If one looked carefully, they would be able to see some horrifying fish-type demonic beasts in the lake. These fish-type demonic beasts had red eyes, as if they had just drunk blood. Walking on the arch bridge, Sun Xiaojin said, My grandfather is a half-step beast king. But you do not need to be too cautious. Our Water Ape Clan has very few rules. Yi Chen nodded. Up until now, he had met 4 king warriors in total. The Dragon King, the Black Thunder King, the Beast King, and the Shining King. As for the mysterious queen he met in the parallel space battlefield, it was only a projection of her willpower, not her real body. At the end of the arch bridge was a stone palace. The two stopped in front of the palace. Grandpa, I have brought the people. Sun Xiaojin said loudly. Both of you, come in. A deep and slightly aged voice rang out. Hearing this, Yi Chen and Sun Xiaojin stepped into the palace. The palace was spacious, and a tall human figure was sitting on the main seat. Judging by the naked eye, the figure was 3 meters tall even when sitting, and at least 5 meters tall when standing up. Raising his head, Yi Chen looked at the leader of the Water Ape Clan. The leader of the Water Ape Clan was even more similar to a human than he had imagined. Apart from his larger body, longer tusks, and thicker hair on his arms and legs, he was no different from a human. His face still had some wrinkles, and his ruddy face had a steel-like luster. So, you are Yi Chen. The leader of the Water Ape Clan smiled. Yi Chen bowed and cupped his fists. Yi Chen greets the leader. No need to be so polite. I don't like it. My real name is Sun Tai. You can just call me Senior Sunday. The leader of the Water Ape Clan seemed to care a lot about Yi Chen. If it were someone else, he wouldn't have told him his real name. After all, how could a senior tell a junior his name? In fact, even Sun Xiaojin was quite surprised, not knowing what his grandpa was thinking. Hearing this, Yi Chen said, Senior Sun. All right, sit down. Let's have a good chat. Sun Tai laughed heartily. Yi Chen sat down next to Sun Xiaojin as he was told. I heard that you were chased by the Ao family to the boundless ocean? What happened exactly? Sun Tai asked some irrelevant questions. The Ao family annihilated the clans of my 2 friends. Yi Chen couldn't bear to see them die, so he brought them and fled to the boundless ocean. Yi Chen briefly explained the cause and course of events. Sun Tai faintly nodded. I can tell that your relationship with these 2 friends of yours isn't very deep. To think that you didn't abandon them at the critical moment and even brought them to the boundless ocean from True Spirit Continent. This is enough to prove your character. My Water Ape Clan values loyalty the most. From now on, the Water Ape Clan will be your home. You can come and go as you please. Hearing Sun Tai's words, Yi Chen was quite astonished. What virtue or ability did he have to be valued so highly by the leader of the Water Ape Clan? This was simply beyond his imagination. My Water Ape Clan has existed since the Middle Ages. Even the lowest aptitude in our clan is mid-grade. The best aptitude is me and Xiao Jin, both of us upper-grade aptitude. Perhaps you don't know much about the aptitude grades of demonic beasts. To put it simply, the majority of the demonic beasts you see on the continent are all lower-grade aptitude with little potential. Those that can reach mid-grade aptitude usually have a trace of ancient demonic beasts' bloodline and have hopes of becoming 9th-grade demonic beasts, or even 10th-grade demonic beasts. Upper-grade aptitude is a branch of ancient powerful demonic beasts. Upon reaching adulthood, they can become 9th-grade demonic beasts, and their chances of becoming demonic kings are also very high. Your two friends have the bloodline of Nine-Headed Serpent, which is the same as us, upper-grade aptitude. Of course, Nine-Headed Serpents are at the peak of upper-grade aptitude, much stronger than us. Otherwise, they wouldn't have become peerless demonic kings. Pausing for a moment, Sun Tai continued, "Perhaps you're wondering why I'm so close to you." Yi Chen wanted to know the reason as well. Our Water Ape clan doesn't lie. From the moment you entered the Water Ape Cave, I've sensed your existence. You have the aura of a true dragon on your body, and you have a huge potential. Along with that, you also have a sky-piercing sword intent. It's a miracle for such a sword intent to appear at your current realm. Right now, there are signs that the world is going to be in chaos. Our Water Ape clan can't stay out of it, and we can't stay out of it either. Befriending a true dragon-level genius is a very important thing for our Water Ape clan. I believe you've already experienced such a thing before. Sun Tai was very honest, not hiding anything. Yi Chen remained silent. He had indeed experienced such a thing before. The Dragon King and Xianhou both had high expectations for him. But nothing could happen without a reason. It was impossible for them to look forward to you and take care of you for no reason. You were not the Son of Heaven, so why would others treat you well? Therefore, there must be a reason for them to treat you well. If he wanted others to continue treating him well, then he would have to show that he was more talented than the others. Otherwise, he didn't believe that the Dragon King would take care of him and look forward to him like this. After all, they didn't have any relationship at all. You won't feel uncomfortable hearing me say this, right? Sun Tai looked at Yi Chen. Yi Chen shook his head and said with a smile, "It seems that I and the Water Ape clan are quite congenial. I like to be straightforward and not fake." Good. Sun Tai admired Yi Chen very much. In fact, he admired him even more than before. Tomorrow, he would have to wake up at 5 o'clock and go out to do some errand. Chapter 496. Senior Son, I have a favor to ask. As they chatted happily, Yi Chen suddenly thought of something. What is it? If I can help, Sun Tai, will definitely help. Those two friends of mine, I wonder if they can stay in the Water Ape Cave. They are being chased by the Ao family, and I cannot protect them by myself. Of course, if they bring trouble to the Water Ape race, I will think of something else. Letting out a breath, Yi Chen said what he was thinking. Wang Snake and Wang Mei were way too weak compared to him, and they would only be a burden if he brought them along. For example, if it were not for them, Yi Chen would not have to run so hard. If he could not beat them, he could easily run away. If it were a head-on battle, he would definitely be able to wound one or two of them badly before leaving. Sun Tai laughed. I thought it was something serious. Alright, don't worry. They will be very happy in my Water Ape Cave. As for trouble, I am not afraid of it. Even if it is that demi-beast king from the Ao family, I am confident that I can exchange 100 or 200 attacks with him. Thank you so much. Yi Chen felt a lot more relaxed. With the 2 extra people around him, he felt like he could not use all of his power. Oh right, here are 5 spirit power stones. I found them on a human life and death realm warrior's body by chance. They are useless to us Water Ape race, so I will give them to you. Sun Tai pushed out his palm slightly, and 10 red light spots shot toward Yi Chen. Waving his hand in a semicircle, Yi Chen collected the red light spots. Looking at them closely, he realized that these 10 red spirit power stones were all thumb-sized. They were crystal clear and had a rich energy. Most importantly, they were not like the spirit power stones from the parallel space battlefield. The essence inside them had not been lost, but they were much heavier. Yi Chen lifted up his head to look at Sun Tai. This gift was way too expensive. Sun Tai shook his head, trying to tie you to the chariot with only one sentence? Our water ape race would not do such a thing. If there is an investment, there will be a return. This is our principle. Thank you, Senior Sunday. In the future, Yi Chen will be a solid ally of our water ape race. Right now, Yi Chen is not qualified yet, Yi Chen said from the bottom of his heart. After discussing business, the three of them chatted about some trivial matters until late at night. For the next half a month, Yi Chen continued to absorb the spiritual energy from the crystals. Unlike the last time, the spiritual energy contained in the crystals was several times purer than before, and it was also several times more difficult to absorb. Every time he absorbed a crystal, Yi Chen had to spend 2 days to consolidate it before he continued to absorb the second, third. Half a month later, Yi Chen's body ignited with a red qi flow. The qi flow seemed to have a mind of its own as it crazily shuttled through Yi Chen's body. Flesh, blood, bones, marrow, they were everywhere. As the qi flow penetrated and vibrated, Yi Chen could feel some impurities that were preventing his body from reaching perfection being expelled and crushed. His entire body seemed to be on the verge of awakening, full of vitality. This smell is a little fishy. Opening his eyes, Yi Chen felt sticky all over his body. He took off his clothes and saw that his skin was covered with a layer of oil. This oil did not have any harmful effect on a warrior's Zhen Yuan cultivation, but it was an obstacle for a warrior to cultivate a spirit body, and it was very hard to get rid of it. There was a bath in the stone room, and the water in the bath was circulating. Jumping into the bath, Yi Chen could not help but moan as his eyebrows relaxed. The 5 crystals that Senior Sun gave me contain a huge amount of spiritual energy essence, which is even more precious than the 50 crystals in the parallel space battlefield. Thanks to Senior Sun, I have already cultivated my spirit body to 99%. I only need to spend a little more time to consolidate my spiritual energy, and then I can officially cultivate it. Clenching his fists, Yi Chen punched the stone wall in front of him. Pooh! The surface of the stone wall seemed to have turned into powder as it slid down. If people with good eyesight were here, they would be able to tell that Yi Chen did not use any of his Zhen Yuan, will power, or power. In fact, the power contained in that punch would not even be able to beat down a kid, because there was no power in it at all. But even in this kind of situation, Yi Chen was still able to break the surface of the stone wall. A smile appeared on the corner of his mouth as Yi Chen thought to himself, the gate between the astral reaching realm and the Sea of Souls realm is called the mortal transformation gate. Once the spirit body is formed, it means that one has passed half of the mortal transformation gate. Then, one's body would be like a great weapon, containing a bit of power. With only this power, one would be able to create damage. The advantage of cultivating the spirit body before the Sea of Souls realm is that the total amount of Zhen Yuan would no longer be limited, and there would be more room for improvement. Before, when I trained my Green Lotus Sword spell to the 14th level, it only made my Zhen Yuan a lot purer, but the total amount did not change. But now it is different. The total amount of Zhen Yuan is slowly increasing, and it is approaching the limit of the 14th level of the Green Lotus Sword spell. Of course, I have not officially cultivated the spirit body yet, so the effect is still 20 to 30% weaker. After cleaning up the dirt on his body, Yi Chen walked out of the bath and changed into clean clothes. On the second day, the cultivation speed of the undying body has increased. What is going on? As usual, Yi Chen continued to cultivate the undying body. However, today's cultivation speed surprised him quite a bit. This kind of speed was not much slower than when he was in danger. It had only been half a day, and Yi Chen could feel that his right arm was about to be branded with the soul mark. Is it because of my body? Apart from cultivating the spirit body, Yi Chen's body hadn't experienced any changes lately. Therefore, he immediately found the most likely reason. It was known to all that only life and death realm warriors could comprehend the undying body. Although the first level of the undying body that Yi Chen had obtained was flesh healing, which was one level weaker than limb regrowth, it was still extremely difficult. He would need to reach the Sea of Souls realm at least to cultivate it properly. The question was, why did he have to reach the Sea of Souls realm? There were a few gaps between the Sea of Souls realm and the astral reaching realm. The soul gap, the Zhen Yuan gap, and the physical gap. Cultivating the undying body required the body to be branded with the soul mark. Therefore, the soul and the body were especially important. And Yi Chen's soul was his advantage, which was no weaker than the majority of Sea of Souls realm warriors. In other words, what Yi Chen lacked was the body. Now that his body was about to be replenished, the cultivation speed of the undying body would naturally increase. I see. Finding the reason, Yi Chen's face revealed a joyful expression. The spirit body was only one step away from completion, and the flesh healing was also just a little bit away. If he succeeded in both, even if his power didn't seem to have made any progress, his ability to protect himself would increase by 10 times. If he encountered an opponent at the same level, the one who would die would be the opponent, and not him. 1 against 2, 1 against 3 would not be a problem at all. Time flew, and another half a month passed in a flash. An astonishing soul ripple appeared on Yi Chen's body. The soul ripple was exceptionally complete, covering his whole body. Meanwhile, Yi Chen's aura seemed to be pulled by an invisible thread, which moved his whole body without any loopholes. The first level of flesh healing has finally been completed. Opening his eyes, the first thing that Yi Chen did was to take out a dagger and stab it into his chest. Fresh blood blossomed and splashed out. In the next second, the blood that contained the soul ripple flowed back into his body, and the wound on his chest quickly healed. Touching his chest, Yi Chen didn't feel anything strange at all. Flesh healing. I didn't expect that I could complete it so quickly. I thought it would take me a couple of years. When he got the cultivation method of the immortal body, Yi Chen had already prepared himself mentally. No matter how hard it would be, he would continue to cultivate it. Completing it within 2 to 3 months was definitely a pleasant surprise. Phew! Letting out a long breath, Yi Chen mumbled to himself, the second level of the immortal body is to regrow broken limbs. I don't dare to think about it for now. It's good that I don't have to spend so much time cultivating the immortal body, and I can spend more time improving other aspects. 3,000 miles away from the water ape's cave, the seawater was pitch black, and one couldn't even see their own fingers. Deep under the sea, there was a faint light flickering. It was a kind of glowing crystal coral. Floating in the seawater, one couldn't see the sky or the ground. In such an environment, it was easy to develop feelings of despair and pessimism. It was like being isolated from the world, and all 5 senses had lost their function. Only the soul was left to question itself. Closing his eyes tightly, Yi Chen flicked his finger on the long emerald sword. Ting! The metallic sound lingered in his ears, and it seemed to contain some kind of mystery. What is that sound? Who dares to cause trouble in my Pang Sa's territory? There were many vassal beasts around the water ape's cave, and the rank 9 green pincer crab was one of them. The green pincer crab had always been tyrannical. Relying on its high defense and close combat ability, it didn't care about other beasts. Only the water ape in the water ape's cave could control it. Therefore, when it heard that someone dared to cause trouble in its territory, it was very angry. Pop! Moving its 8 legs quickly, the green pincer crab followed the sound and dashed out. Soon, the green pincer crab saw the culprit. It was a human in blue, and the source of the sound was his sword. The green pincer crab's finger tapped on it, and the sword vibrated. The sound spread out in all directions. The green pincer crab didn't know how to speak, so it could only wave its huge green pincer to create the rumbling sound of water to warn the other party. Bastard! How dare you ignore me? Seeing that Yi Chun still had his eyes closed and was still flicking the sword, the green pincer crab was so angry that it spat out a powerful water current. Yi Chun, who had his eyes closed, moved his left foot slightly, avoiding the water current. The green pincer crab was just about to rush up and cut the other party into pieces when Yi Chun suddenly opened his eyes. As he opened his eyes, 2 beams of light red light shot out, lighting up a large area of seawater. Cut! Holding the sword high with both hands, the sword first shone with a green light, then a golden light. The green light and the golden light intertwined, and the seawater within 10 meters was immediately squeezed out, forming a spherical vacuum. Inside the vacuum, Yi Chun hacked down heavily. Boom! The seawater was stirred up, and a dazzling beam of sword light radiated out, spreading to an unknown distance. In silence, the seawater was separated by 100 meters, like a deep chasm. The green pincer crab on the side was shaken several miles away. It was dumbfounded, and its huge green pincer drooped down. Its eyes were full of fear and fear. If it had rushed up carelessly, there wouldn't have been anything left of it. The green pincer crab thought to itself. Putting the longsword back into its scabbard, Yi Chun did not look at the green pincer crab as he thought to himself, after a week, my gold resonant radiance sword art has finally been trained to 50%, and its power has increased by 50%. Now, it's time to move on to the gold profound. After staying in the water ape's cave for more than a month, Yi Chun had made a lot of progress. First, he had trained his spirit body to 99%, and he was only 1 step away from completing it. Then, he had trained his gold resonant radiance sword art to 50% as well, which was almost an improvement in every aspect. Shoo! Turning around, Yi Chun flew toward the direction of the water ape's cave. He is gone. The green pincer crab let out a breath and hurried back to its cave. It thought that Yi Chun must have forgotten about its existence, and once the latter remembered, it would be doomed. So, it had to leave as soon as possible and not give the latter any chance.